and all that. And then every time I raise my hand, and they're like, "Oh, what happened to your hand?" During the break, I
Yeah,
do like carpal
it
tunnel
is.
is what happened to my hands.
It is
Hands.
indeed a story.
You see, this also has carpal tunneling, but it's not as bad. So I could still, goof off,
Well,
but like,
you should do some preventative maintenance, on that one, so it doesn't become as worse as the other one.
yeah, that's true.
Come on, man.
Shimon.
Uh,
Let me check
put
to
that
see if
there.
on UbiTube I am streaming. The good place. Hey, look, we're streaming on YouTube too.
Hey, yo. Does this still work? Okay. Uh, 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 uh.
I love how. Hold on. I have to see what this looks like. Oh, okay, cool. That's what it looks like. I was gonna say how. Hold on. I love how when I looked at the YouTube like homepage, it says podcast. That's all it says in the as a title,
I
and
guess.
then it just has, those that blue screen with like the little whoop, and then like the little circles ahead. That was the image.
All right. Put that there. Put that there. Show notes. Okay. So you're 1 and then can't do it as 0.
Yep.
I really need a piece of paper to tell me what everything is because I always forget. It's okay. I'll do that for the next show. It's tough to keep track of all of them because I think I only use the 2 anyway. I double checked our list.
Mm-hmm.
We're good.
Good.
Also I added so you see the orange.
Yes.
These oranges are the ones so that's going to be the combined placing
combined?
for, yeah. So we'll have to figure it out. Obviously, we can already fill out some of them because like 1 is going to be 2D fighting game because I mean they're both at 1, so that's going to be 1. Before we start, how do you want to do this? Do you want to go from 31 up or 1 to 31?
Let's just do 1 to 31.
1 to 31.
Okay. Now, I have one final question for you, and that is, shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, do you want to since we haven't started. I mean, the stream has started, but we haven't started.
Right.
I was thinking the next word of the week is, what was that word that I said on? Because my dad was like, "Oh, you said that word," and I was like, "I meant what I said," and he was thinking it was a different word. Hold on.
You want to change word of the week? We can do that
No.
pre-podcast.
I like the word of the week this time, but it is.
Honestly, I just went to dictionary.com because they have word of the day, so I stole that.
Actually, you know what? That's the plan. Then we'll just do that because that actually is the smartest move ever. That's the smartest move ever. I've never.
Dude, I googled word of the day and I went to dictionary.com and it was interlocutor. So I was like, okay,
that's
I'll take it.
Amazing.
And actually, funny enough, it works because this is a podcast. So like the definition works perfect. I was like, oh shit, look at this. It was meant to be.
It was indeed.
But if you have one, we can put one in there.
No,
but I just don't. I don't feel like thinking about words, so I just went to dictionary and I was like, "What's the word of the day?" I was like, "All right, let's take that one."
That's a smart move, honestly. I like that. That's a great move.
Man, episode 9 already.
I know, right? We're close to the fabled 10. You know, the one
I
where I would hop in.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be it'll be different. It'll be the Pringle will be you. Pringle is the Orbis version of Broken Hollywood because he did 1 through 9, and then you were on 10. I guess technically he did 1, but he also missed 2 through 9. He might be on 10. We'll see.
You never know.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we have. Before we begin, I like the fact that we are so like, hey, can you do a podcast today? Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll do a podcast. And if either of us say no, they were like, you know what? We don't have to do a podcast this week. Screw it.
Now that I think about it, I really don't have anybody. I mean, I could ask Snowflake, but Snowflake works long hours during the week. So on a Thursday night, he probably would want to go to bed early because he's got work the next day. So I probably wouldn't be able. I don't think I would have anybody ask.
January is when I start school, and the last class I have is at 11. So I'm thinking from like 11 to... I think 1 is the latest I'll leave.
Yeah, well, you said when you start school, maybe Fridays will be better, right?
I think Thursdays are still fine. I was just going to say, like...
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? When I start school, any day would be fine for podcasts, because... if you think about it, any day that you, me, and Pringle are fine to do that day, we'll do it. So I think any day. Also,
yeah. We'll see when Pringle comes back. We'll see kind of what day works. It's tough for it with his schedule. His schedule is not
good.
He did say he got like a little part-time job, so we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Man, I want a part-time job.
You don't.
I want no more. No more of this full-time.
When you get a part-time job and you say, "Hey, I'm available whenever," they just...
Oh, no. I don't want one of those. No. I want...
That's what I have.
I want to pick my days.
I have a part-time job, and the only days I have free are Wednesday and Thursday, and they fuck me every other day of the week.
Dude, like, I had that back in the day when I worked for Target. Is my availability was Monday through... Actually, I think I locked like one day. I think I said I was like, I'm not working on Wednesdays or something, but I could work any other day. Mm-hmm. And they made sure to put me on every random fucking shift they could, like on every day. It was annoying. So, yeah. I thought you were quitting.
I am technically
soon,
quitting. So what happened is I talked to them and they said, you know what? We won't let you be a server anymore in January when you start school, but we will let you come in whenever you want to, and on those days you come in, you can be a runner.
What's a runner?
A runner is a guy who sits at the kitchen. Oh, not sure if you can... you can't hear me that well? Hold on. Oh, I can just bump up my volume. That's max volume. I guess I can...
I was really loud last time.
Yeah. Can you hear me better now? Like, am I louder to you? Because I just bumped up the volume on this.
To me, no, but I have a mixer, so I have you at pretty, like, stationary. I don't know the words.
Oh no, that's dude. Okay, so let's try. There. Is that better?
To me, you were good before.
All right, I think this would
be. If you're talking to the stream, I don't know.
I think I turned it up just enough so it's like it's at the yellow now. So there you go.
Yeah, now, you've been at the yellow for me for a while.
Well, that was because my old mic I maxed it, so that's why it died so fast. So I wasn't trying to max it this time. You know, I wanted to keep my mic for a bit. It's a nice mic. Got a little button on the top so I can play Among Us easily by muting my mic without having to leave the call. You know those games where it's like, hey, you got to mute the mic, and I'm like, okay, cool, tink.
Yeah, that is nice. I have one here, with my little mixer, but I mean, I paid a pretty penny for this thing, a couple of years ago. It was like $400. It's a lot.
Speaking of, it also glows in the dark. So as you can see, look at that. It's nice.
Oh, you have like the same mic as what's his name? Lord Knight, I think uses that.
Lord Knight uses that? Hey.
I think so. Yeah.
You know what? I guess if it works for Lord Knight, it works for me. All I did was I went on Amazon and I was like, hey, Mike.
Glowy Mike. Me need.
I need Mike. All right. I just realized I don't have any water with me, so I'm gonna go get me some water.
Go grab some. Yeah, you'll need them.
You can start like you can just say, "Hey, he's getting water" while you start your spiel. So let's go.
Yep. Oh, you want me like to start the podcast? I'll just wait for you. I was like, wait, what does he mean? Podcaster Rooney. If anybody's talking in Broken's chat, I try not to have too many things since I record the podcast on our end. Try not to have too many things eating at my CPU. So if you are talking in Broken's chat and I'm not responding, it's because I don't have the stream open. But if you aren't talking, then I'm just talking to myself. And that's fine too. Because I do that a lot. In my head. The little fan rotates in the background. Broken sleeps on one pillow. What a savage. Oh, man. I don't know what I ate. I got a little bit of heartburn. What did I eat?
So, this is Broken Wings drinking straight water and nothing but water, the stream. There is no added flavors to this. Unlike most of the times when I add flavors to my water, though, this is just pure water at its purest form.
I'm a fan of pure water. I like it.
I got that zero water maker, you know? You just pour water into it and it turns into zero water.
What's zero water?
Hold on.
So like flavored water, I'm assuming? Oh, man, it's too early to yawn.
So, zero water is these things. Alright?
I've never heard or seen that before.
It's a 5-stage water filtration system. So most water filters are like 2 stages. This is 5 stages of water filtration.
Oh, snap.
So it is so good. They give you a little water filter, and they like show you, like let you like test how like filtered your water is. And if your water gets anywhere above like 0.06, you need to replace the water filter. Because it takes out all the microbes by like up to like 0.00.
What's the tap water over there in
Texas?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends.
Waco.
Not just Texas, yeah, Waco, because like
we get our water from Lake Waco, which is not clean. But like there's a filtration system, but then I want it to be. I don't know. I've tasted clean water a lot because I go to my parents' house and I go and like use the fridge and I drink it and I'm like, there's a taste to this.
Right.
It's an acquired
dankness.
So I was like, when I get home and I drink my own water, I'm just gonna drink clear water, you know? No taste.
Yeah. Alright, I think we're ready. Which one? You're 1. Okay, you're 1, and then can't do it as 0.
Yep.
My reminders. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Seems like we just did it, because we did last week. It is Ride to Orbis, a gaming podcast, episode 9. We have returned. My name is Max Splicer. I'm joined by the most famous zero water drinker in the state of Texas, Mr. Broken Wing himself.
Maybe I'm a lion.
Hey, Zero Water, can we get a sponsor?
Man, you're hunting the sponsorships. It was Athletic Greens last week.
I'm hunting for us to get paid, okay? I want to get paid.
Remember when we did Hollywood, we got approached by Manscaped?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, it's too bad you guys are approaching us now because for one, we're planning on going on a hiatus because I was like in between moving and the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And plus, even back then, I didn't know what the future for FGC Hollywood was going to be. So yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm willing to sacrifice. Okay, if they give us, if Athletic Greens actually does reach in and it's like, hey.
Yeah, you've definitely made it known that you'll be the corporate shill on this podcast. You'll read every ad as long as there are dollar signs attached to it. So you are Justin Wong. If this was Triple KO, you are the Justin.
Yeah, but at least at least with I'm a little bit more entertaining than Justin Wong, if you think about it.
Yeah, less boomer, but also less talented in fighting games. You would have to admit, right?
Fair enough. That is a fair.
I mean, how many people in the world really are as talented in fighting games as Justin Wong? It's like, would you say? I'm saying not like one fighting game. I'm taking fighting game as a whole.
Because he can play mostly every fighting game at a competent level.
And he reaches a very high level in a short period of time whenever the new fighting game comes out that he tries in. Mm-hmm. So would you say the number of people who are as good or better in fighting games or at fighting games than Justin Wong, would you say that number is more or less than 10?
I'd say more than
10. 10 or greater.
I'd say more than 10, but I wouldn't say it's like 50. I would say it's like higher than 10, but it depends. So like, I'd say, what is his name? He's not Slash. He's the other. He's the one who's basically now the like Arabic Leffen.
Arabic Leffen.
Yeah, he's NASR or NSAR. He's the guy who everyone thought was the best at Guilty Gear until like he got his ass whooped by Leffen and.
Shoot, what's his name? I forgot. Yeah, Latif. Yeah.
Latif, there we go.
No, I don't know that Latif is at that level. I would say, trying to think who's at that level. Kazunoko, Dogura, right? Like, I'm thinking of those guys. Like winning at a high level at multiple different fighting games against people who play those fighting games at a high level. I think, like, even Daigo, I don't think is really in that discussion. Tokido is. Like, Tokido is in that discussion. But Justin as well.
I would say
he's still a shill though.
Yeah, he is. I'd say a new up and comer is Masoma. Have you heard of Masoma?
Yeah, Masoma. Mm-hmm.
I think he's.
What does he play outside of Melty?
He plays every anime fighting game, and he plays the hard character in every single one of them.
Has he ever gone out of anime though? Because there's one thing to say you're really good at anime fighting games, but one thing I credit Kazunoko and Dogura is like those guys played Guilty Gear at a high level, but then they went over to play Street Fighter 4 at like a higher level. I was like, damn, how'd you do that?
Honestly, I don't know if I've.
Arslan Ash plays Tekken at a high level, yes, KOF at a high level. I mean,
it's true, but I don't know. I'd have to ask. I'd have to see if Masoma actually plays anything besides anime fighting games, because he's good at BlazBlue, he's good at Melty. I think he plays Guilty Gear, and I think he plays like the character that everyone thinks he would play in Guilty Gear. But
he plays Vlav in Melty, so he would play. Don't tell me. Oh man, who is the Vlav equivalent in Guilty Gear? Wait, are we talking Strive?
Yeah, we're talking Strive, because he plays in BlazBlue. Just to give you a hint, he plays what's her name? She's the chick with that floats and has the Dorito stance.
What? Who's that?
You never seen it? She's a bitch that like nobody likes to fight against because she.
Izanami.
Yeah, Izanami. She has the ribcage. Yeah, he plays her. So that should give you a little bit of a hint as to like the type of character.
Honestly, well, actually, no. That actually takes me away from my initial hint because I was gonna say Nagoriyuki.
Nagoriyuki? No, I don't think so. No,
who does he play in Strive?
He plays technical characters. I think, honestly, he'd play Zato.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was thinking maybe Testament. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how we got to talking about Guilty Gear. I mean, we have to stop because every time we start talking about fighting games, we go way too long. And one thing I noticed is our opening segments have gotten lengthier. So I'm trying to shorten those so we have time, so we don't have to keep rolling things back. But that's on us.
We've rolled 2 things back, all right? Come on now. Out of the 9 episodes we've had, only 2 times did we roll back.
That's still... I guess we had a tendency to roll on a lot of things back in Hollywood, too. It's just who we are. It is. We're ramblers.
So let's get into the word of the week then, while we're here.
Yes. Go for it. So, by the way, we talked before the podcast. We had to start word of the week because we've been talking about it for so long. And then finally, you managed to remind me at the end of the show last week. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'll put it at the top of the show this week.
Yes.
All I did was Google word of the day, and Dictionary has the word of the day. So I stole theirs. This was from a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. So the word of the week is interlocutor or interlocutor.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I would still, even though that's how they have the pronunciation on it, I still say interlocutor. Is that wrong?
I mean,
do you really have to pronounce the Q sound? Like,
I feel like you have to, because
interlocutor?
Because I feel like the U is emphasized by the O. You know?
Anyway, what does it mean?
A formal word that means one who takes part in dialogue or conversation. Like you and me! Whoa!
Hey, yo! Whoa! By the way, I did not look this up when I just went to dictionary.com and I was like, holy shit, the word of the day is exactly what we do here on this podcast. It was meant to be, so interlocutor. I mean, interlocutor? That doesn't sound right. I'm going to say interlocutor.
it's whatever, honestly.
Yeah, listen, even when I have the pronunciation right in front of me, I still can't say it right.
Can't say it right.
Can't do it.
Oh, man. So, yeah, word of the day. Interlocutor.
Now we have the sports question of the week. All right.
Yes, I added this. So, listen, I've been thinking. I bring up, obviously, Coach Singletary.
Can't do it.
I mean, some of my soundboard stuff has to do with sports. I've recently gotten back into sports because I've taken like some time off, mostly because my teams suck. Like, I'm a Detroit sports fan. So the Red Wings suck, the Pistons suck, the Lions always suck. That never changes. And the Tigers have been terrible. They had a stretch there. They were pretty good. But they've been terrible. But I've been trying to get back to sports because, I don't know, they're fun. And I always liked sports growing up. But my co-hosts do not know anything about sports. So I figured it's time to educate you degens. It's not all about anime waifus. There are sports out there. I don't know how much Pringle knows about sports, but you, I know, aren't super big into sports. And yeah, 0, according to your hand sign there. So I think a little word of the week. Now, here's the thing. Or not word of the week. Question of the week. The question is written on there, but I also have a bonus question. So if you get this right, I will ask a bonus question. And then when Pringle comes in, we'll start doing like a little tally. So I'll keep the score between you and Pringle. Who will be the sports champ of Ride to Orbis? And then, it could be a little tradition.
What you should do is so that way none of us can cheat. Don't put on the docket until the day of, at like right before we begin.
Oh, yeah. I trust you. I mean, I think it's
I don't.
On a rule, right?
Yeah, it's on
I don't think you're going to look it up.
I didn't. I promise you.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't think you would. No, I don't think Pringle would either.
Everybody, how degenerate I am. This is Oscar,
oh, Jesus.
Oscar from Tekken 7. She's the reason I have to wear this now, by the way, everybody.
Yeah. So for the people listening, Broken has a bandage, or he's got just wrapping on. Is that your right arm or your right wrist, I'm assuming? Mm-hmm. And you said you found out you recently have carpal tunneling in there. And I asked you, hey, don't they make mouse pads with a little gel thing? And then he picks up his mouse pad, and it's just Asuka, where the normal gel pad would be. It's just big boobs, like big tickle bitties for Asuka on the mouse pad. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that checks out.
I mean, to be fair, what is the only thing? Name me 3 things that are very like Asuka besides her tits. Oh, and also she rides a bike, and her best friend / rival is Lily.
She calls people stupid. She rides the bike. Tooth Fairy, and she has a little weird rivalry with Fang and Lily. She's Jin's cousin. I don't know. Those are all the Asuka facts.
That's about it. Oh, and also her big tits. That's about it. Like, they never change her outfit except that she has those big bahankas.
They're really not that big if you compare them to, like, who else is big in that game? Josie?
Nina? Lily?
Nina and Lily are pretty flat. Well, Lily more so than Nina, but I would say Josie. Who's Vampire Girl?
Well, Vampire Girl is dependent on if she sucks your blood, because she starts flat, but then she sucks your blood and she grows big.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Eliza is her name. I know.
Eliza, yeah.
Because I'm an Eliza simp.
I played her a little in Revolution. She was fun. And not so much in 7. But she has a fun unblockable. She can do it with no more fighting games. Anyway.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's get back to the sports.
Sports. All right. So the first sports question of the week for you, Broken. I wrote, in basketball, what does the phrase "going to the line" mean? And then if you get this right, I'll reward the bonus question if you'll get that one right. But if you don't get this right, I'll just say the bonus question for the audience listening.
So I think going to the line means, so you know how there's a halfway point?
Yes. So midcourt,
and then there's like the 3-point line. Like
correct.
All that. I think going to the line means going to the halfway point.
So close, Broken. So close. I like the effort, though. That would make sense because you took the task like almost literal. Like, okay, so going to the line in basketball actually means taking a free throw. So
it means going to
the free throw line. You were close. You said midcourt line, but it's the free throw line. Whenever you hear, it's kind of like slang. Whenever you hear like announcers saying like somebody gets fouled, he's like, well, and he'll go to the line. That's what they mean. He's going to shoot some free throws. The bonus question, though. See, so the initial question, I'm going to reward 1 point. If you get the bonus question right, that's 2 points. Now you still have a chance.
Okay.
A free throw is how far away from the basket? Please use feet, not meters. This is America.
I thought a free throw was anywhere before. Anywhere after the 3-point line, because the 3-point line is actually the maximum amount of points, because anywhere past the 3-point line you still get 3 points even if you throw it there.
Correct. Not a bonus question, but you got that right. I'll say this. Basketball. You can shoot a free throw at any distance you want, technically, but what is the minimum distance for a free throw?
6 feet.
Broken. Womp, womp, womp. The Nintendo Switch sound. No, it is 15. 15 feet.
15 feet
is a free throw, yes.
Jeez.
It's okay. There's always next week, but you were close. I like your approach to answering the first question, though. You took it very literally. It's good. I like it.
I was like, there's this.
Right. There are lines everywhere on a basketball court. Sidelines, there's baselines. So, yeah. That should be fun. I want to make this a little tradition. I'll come up with some questions, some bonus questions for you and Pringle to answer each and every week.
About sports now.
Hey, by the time I'm done with you fools, you will be sports savants. You'll know everything.
Next,
I'll change them up too.
Next, you're gonna ask me what does a safety do in football, and I'm gonna be like, oh.
No, that's a little too on the nose. I'll ask you about maybe some rules, maybe some slang, maybe some stuff like. I'll leave it for my imagination for next week. But there's a bunch of different ways I can do this. But anyway, no points this week, but maybe next week, and who knows. Hey, speaking of next week, so. No Pringle, obviously, as of yet, but maybe there's a chance next week. So he reached out to us. And he's like, hey, depending on how things turn out, he might make an appearance for episode 10. Obviously, nothing's set in stone, but could be cool having Pringle on episode 10. He was on 1, then he'll be on 10, and then he'll skip until 20. It'll be like a shiny Pokemon. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see Pringle. I think we're getting a little closer to our mailbag episodes, which, by the way, appreciate Patreon for sending some submissions. Discord is always available, so you can send us submissions there. It's always in the description of the YouTube version of this video, of this podcast, rather. And the mailbag is still open, so you can send those questions in to our Twitters, BrokenWing777 _ at MaxSplicer, at Pringle1, on the Twitterverse. And we'll read some questions here pretty soon. Maybe not in episode 10, but somewhere in the low teens. I think we're getting pretty close. The other thing I want to talk about was I'd like to run another community event. So recently we did the Coffee versus or Coffee and Combos versus Ride to Orbis exhibition. I'd like to do something else, but I need some suggestions. I was thinking like maybe multiverses, but the crowd really went mild for that one when I brought it up. So probably not that one. I'm looking for a game. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a fighting game. If it could be crossplay. Yeah, competitive, cooperative, team-based, anything that I can get a lot of people to play. It'd be great if it was crossplay. That's not necessary, but I'd like it to be crossplay just so I can get more people in our Discord to join. Some people are on PlayStation, some people on PC. So that'd be great. Obviously, PC is first and foremost, is where most people play. But if it can be crossplay, if you have suggestions, that'd be great. And obviously, if it's free, that'd be even better. But if it's cheap, that'd be dope.
I have one.
What do you got?
Jackbox party games.
That could be okay. Yeah.
Like, all you need is one person to host the game, and then everyone else can, like, literally play on whatever. I mean, I could play on my phone if I really wanted to.
Yeah. There's a bunch of other options there. Like, obviously, can be... I was thinking, like, maybe Among Us, but Among Us seems to be a little played out. I guess I haven't really asked, but I don't know.
You say that, but people still like the gameplay of Among Us.
Yeah. We'll find one.
We'll field it out.
Yeah.
I'll put out Jackbox. You put out Among Us. We'll say whatever. Yeah. What are you feeling, folks? We'll see.
Fork Drift.
Fork Drift. Let's go, PC gamers. Rise up.
Yep. That was fun when we did a little Fork Drift lobby night. But then eventually we ended up going to fighting games. We played KI. We played Strive. So yeah. But yeah, I'm looking. So if anybody's listening to this, hit me up either in the comments on the YouTube version or on Twitter. If you got a game that you think would make sense, let me know, and maybe we can do it. Can do it.
Can do it.
He never did say that. I wish I had a clip of Singletary saying, "Can do it." Hey, no podcast corrections this week. No real ones. We had a couple of mini corrections, but yeah, you're in the clear, so you're good.
We're doing great, guys. We have 0 podcast corrections.
Yeah, that's a streak of 1 week.
There we go. That's all you need. 1 week is a streak.
Yeah, that's true. We start at 1. By the way, the show streak is at 2. So
there we go.
We're on it. What are we playing? Broken. I finally started. I only started the first hour. Mm-hmm. But Danganronpa V3.
Good shit.
So far, very Danganronpa-ish. Like, I mean, I knew what I was stepping into because I played 1 and 2, and 3 so far is like, yep, this is Danganronpa. I gotta say, the opening themes for the Danganronpa games are like sneaky good. They're like really good.
I love Danganronpa's OSTs. They're always good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're really good.
So can't say much about the game yet, but for the first hour, it's definitely Danganronpa.
All right, sure. When you finish the game, we should talk about it. We should have like a spoiler cast where we talk about Danganronpa. Yeah.
Oh, I guess one last thing. No update on River City Girls. We didn't play this week. We're still 2 playthroughs, but from what I saw, I believe we're 53% through the game or something like that. So maybe 2 more playthroughs, and then that'll be the spoiler cast / review discussion podcast. Rooney.
Yep. So I am still playing Eastward. I played a little bit of Potion Permit, not too much. FF14 was updated last week, so there's a lot of stuff to do in FF14. And I hopped back into Yakuza 7. I got to the point
like a dragon.
Yeah, that game's so good. So what happened was this week. The reason why we couldn't do this is a thing. The reason why we couldn't do River City Girls was because I was actually visiting my parents up until today. So I actually called in work, said, "Hey, I need all these days off so I can get ready for school." And then I find out, oh, I can't even register for the classes until the November 1st.
Okay.
So I did all this work just to be paused. Like, hey, halt, halt! You're going too fast there, buddy. So
there is a start date, right? Because I remember I tried to do it online once back when I went to college, and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah. So they're like, school starts in January. You can't register until November. So calm down. So I was like, all right. But I got all the payments taken care of. I took care of FAFSA, all that jazz.
Hey yo.
So we're good.
Yeah.
So all I got to do is just register, go to the school, and then be like, hey, this is the VA saying this is your money, and then we're good.
Sick.
So
hopefully they come through.
Yeah. So I spent all this week with my parents, which was great. Yeah. Got to spend time with my parents, my little brother and sister, all that jazz. And so the only thing I had was my PS5 and the laptop. So I played a lot of Yakuza. The game was great.
Didn't you say either your brother or your sister, they're like big anime fans?
My brother's a big anime fan. He's a big One Piece fan.
Okay. Is he watching any Bleach or what's the other one that just came out?
He's watching Bleach. He's actually excited because when he heard that I'm gonna watch One Piece when I start school. So he's like, "Oh man, I can't wait for you to get past episode 100 because that's when the show gets good." I was like, "You're telling me I have to go past 100 episodes for the show to get good?"
No, I think it gets good right away. Really, once I thought like Arlong Park was really good. That's early. I mean, that's practically right there. It's just long. It's not. One Piece has never been, I think, an issue of quality, just of quantity and length. Like it's fucking long. It's a lot of episodes. Like, god damn. But it's good. It's just like, if Breaking Bad was 12 seasons instead of 5, I'd be like, man, it's really good. But fuck, like, just end already. God, come on, Walter.
I will say this.
Anyway,
I'm going to start. I'm going to start a few anime soon. There's one of them that I'm going to start is Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2.
I don't know that I know that one.
That's the one that we've been waiting 13 years to get to.
Oh, that's the one where he works at McDonald's, right?
Yes, that's
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
watch that.
I've seen a clip of that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch season 2 of Shield Hero.
I like Shield Hero. I read that one. Yeah.
I heard that one manga that I really wanted to watch, which was a guy who was a jack of all trades, who that one's finally becoming an anime, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It comes out next season during the next seasonal animes.
Okay.
There's I'm gonna also start Bleach. Those are the 3 anime. Oh, and also I'm gonna
start Bleach or resume Bleach.
The new Bleach.
Okay.
Not not from episode 1. The 100 Years of War.
I got 2 things on Bleach. I don't watch anime anymore. I can't. But I really like the Bleach characters. I think they're sick. Obviously, I got Unohana right there on the wall. But I kind of want to watch. I wonder if it'll work with Bleach because I can't watch anime anymore. Dude, I knew I couldn't watch anime anymore when I tried to watch Mob Psycho Season 2 after loving Season 1 a few years back. Mm-hmm. I tried to watch Season 2 maybe this is probably
super good too.
People said that, yeah, and I tried to watch it and I couldn't get through the episode. I was like, I can't. It's the medium. The medium. For some reason, I just can't sit still and watch this shit. I need to read it.
Have you thought about watching it dubbed? Because I've had problems.
That's never been an issue. Okay. I don't know what it is. I honestly can't pinpoint it. I've spoken about it before. I can't watch anime. I cannot do it. It's fucking
can't do it.
Can't do it. I can't watch it. And not that it's bad. It's just for some reason I won't sit still. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. Not in this way.
I think that's the problem is that you're probably watching it subbed, and because like you're watching it subbed, you have to sit still and watch it. That's why I said you should watch it dubbed, because I have the same problem. I can't just sit down and watch an anime. I have to like do something while I like do anything. Like I can't play video games like silently anymore. I have to watch a YouTube video while I play video games now.
See, I don't have ADHD like that. Like I can sit and edit for hours, right, and not do shit. Like just edit or whatever or write. But with anime, in the last few years, I just can't watch it. But I can still read just fine. Like I can read a bunch of manga if I want to. And I know Mob Psycho 2 is good. Like that's not the issue. Same with One Piece. Like I know those are good. They're not bad. I just can't sit and stay. But Bleach, I think I've always had a really soft spot for Bleach because I really love those characters. Mm-hmm. Plus the Soul Society arc I think is one of the strongest arcs to open up like one of those big shonen animes. And I love a lot of like mostly the captains. Like I mean obviously they're sick. Ichigo's okay, whatever. But I kind of want to try. This is how I'll know that I can't do anime anymore, is when I try to resume watching Bleach after all these years. If I can't sit down and watch Bleach, I'm like, it's over. Like it's done. Like I'll have to just read it, I guess.
You know what we should do, by the way? We should pick one show and watch that show, and then like every week we give a summary, so that way we both like can sit down and focus on a show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking what we could do. I like Chainsaw Man. It's brand new. Everyone seems to like Chainsaw Man, and it's got an anime. It's a few episodes ahead, so. But what we'll do is we'll watch one episode a week, right? We'll try to focus down on watching one episode a week. Like, we give a certain section to the podcast saying this is what we thought about it, and I think that way you can also see if maybe or not you can't, because I think that would probably be good. We'll give one show one season.
It might be okay. I'll say this right now: Chainsaw Man's going to be a hard sell because I tried reading Chainsaw Man and I was like, no, like this is not. So I don't know how to describe Chainsaw Man. I know we were saying we're going to try to make these opening segments a little shorter, but
it's fine.
Chainsaw Man, when I read it, it seemed honestly like I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like just kind of horny bait mixed with the shonen. Like a lot of the motivations, at least early, seemed like whack to me. Like the reason why
Denji
he's doing like I don't know. I was like, but like it has some cool sequences. But I also don't really care for the characters. I think who's the main girl, the bad girl, Makima. I think her archetype is just like overrated. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to be a hater here. I'm not trying to be like Pringle with the Woody meme, but like it just I wasn't speaking to me. And like I don't know. You obviously can tell what floats my boat, and that's stuff like Vagabond.
I thought Makima might be your kind of girl, but then not. No.
No.
You like Ino. You like Lily.
Yeah, but I think Makima's a little too much in your face with it. I don't know how to describe it. It's just maybe it's just that specific series that just doesn't do it for me. But I also fell out of love with like Attack on Titan, so that's another thing.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I couldn't even start Attack on Titan. It's just
I thought season 1 was good, but afterwards,
you know what?
But anyway,
we'll find
something.
Yeah, we'll find something. We'll do like a once a week thing. But I don't know. If not Chainsaw Man, something else. We could do something else.
I do want to try Bleach. I want to resume Bleach. We'll see what happens. I'll update.
Okay. But yeah. All right. News to watch for.
Hey, wait. We got to take a short break because I just realized I probably need a fan on because I do have the oven on. I'm cooking dinner late, so
there you go.
I want to turn on the fan. Let's. I have chicken in the oven, so
it seems like everybody just eats chicken.
It's good for you. At least that's what they say. And then it turns out, like, we'll read in like 5 years. Actually, chicken was really bad for you.
Say that, but
conspiracy.
We've been saying chicken's good for you for years, and a lot of bodybuilders, all they eat is chicken or rice.
Yeah, they also sell you athletic greens, so you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's take a short break, and then we'll be back with not news to watch for, but the topic of the week. We'll be right back. Let me get this fan going.
Man, I have got to say that, what is it? It is interesting trying to get myself... I'll say this whenever Matt gets in. But I was just saying... I was just explaining this, but I said, you know what, I'll wait for Mac to get back. But I was like, it is hard for me to sit down and watch an anime or a show because the simple fact that, like I said, I have such ADHD that I feel like I have to do something else. Like it is,
right.
It is the. I used to be able to just sit down and watch like 3 seasons of a show in one sitting, and now I can't even like. The only time I can actually watch a season of a show is if I'm at work, and it's like downtime, or like I'm in bed and it's like the end of the day and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just laying here. Let me just watch something. And then I can do that. But like if I'm on my computer, which is when you should watch a show, I can't. I have to, I feel like I got to play a game or something while
I think an episode before bed is like the best way to do it. I just finished 4 seasons of Ozark. Just watching an episode before I go to bed. Great.
How's Ozark?
Ozark is good. But I wouldn't say it's great.
It's not something you would basically subscribe, like tell people to watch.
No, I do think you should watch Ozark. I just felt like it maybe slightly overstayed its welcome. It did 4 seasons. I thought it could probably have wrapped up a little earlier, and then I think you could tell that within the writing of the last season. Like it's just slightly deteriorated. Like it wasn't as good as it probably should have been. But it's very difficult to sustain high quality anything once the further along you go with, just I mean, I don't know, the further you move along seasons or shows or whatever, it's harder to just churn out banger episodes after banger episodes. And I just felt that season 4, especially at the end, was a bit of a letdown. So, but it's so hard getting endings right. Like I don't remember the last time I watched or read or experienced anything that got like an ending that was like right there, like yes. But
I've been watching a lot of Dead End Paranormal Park. It's not a show I would suggest anybody watch unless they're like super into like woke things. The main character is a
can't do it.
Yeah, the main character is a transsexual, who's also gay, I guess, because he's into a guy in the show.
Wait, he's turning into a woman, but he's into a guy?
No, he was a woman who turned into a guy, and is dating a guy at the park.
That's weird. Why not just stay a woman?
I'm not going to ask that question, and I'm not going to defend that question either. I'm just
what do you mean?
The show. I'm just watching the show. Anyways, the other main character is a girl who doesn't have... who's, like, super afraid of everything. Like,
There's a term for that. Something phobia.
Yeah, but, like, basically she can't even, like... The only people she can talk to is her mom. And basically the main character. But then, like, she starts to outgrow it and starts to, like, be a little bit more, like... Because once the demons start happening, she gets, like, super into demons. And so that's what gets her to, like, branch out. That and the park is based off of a lady who I'm not going to spoil what happens to the lady. But, like, because it's based off this lady, she's super into this actress. And so that also helps her to branch out to talk to people. But, like, without those two mediums, it's basically her shutting down. Like, she cannot talk to anybody. And then she, like, meets some girl who's, I think, has a Arabic, like, shawl around her.
Mm.
And they're a thing. Like, they're not really, like, dating or anything, but, like, they're super best friends. And, like, she always wants to talk with her. So I guess they're a thing, but not a thing. Anyways, the show is based
definitely sounds woke.
Yeah, it is.
But basically, the show's about the park is haunted, and in season 2, season 1 it was haunted by a demon, and in season 2 it's now angels are involved, and like we'll see what happens. But as I said, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody unless you like super into like that stuff. I've also been trying to watch what's that other show I've been watching? I've dipped my toes in Tekken.
The Netflix?
Dipped it, yes. I've dipped it. I'm still on episode 1, I think, but like I'm almost at the end. It is cringe as hell. I have to like force myself to watch it.
I heard.
I will say this though, if there's one show that I think is really interesting, is every time I go visit my dad, he's always watching something like sci-fi related. And you know Seth MacFarlane, right? The guy who made
Family Guy.
Yeah, he has a show that's basically a ripoff of Stargate. Or not Stargate, Star Trek. And
I don't know that one.
Yeah, basically it's literally just Star Trek, but from Seth MacFarlane. Let me look up what it's called. The Orville. It's a show called The Orville, right?
Okay.
And basically it's literally Star Trek, but with comedy. And I think that's an interesting show. I have to go watch it. But like one of the things that is kind of interesting about it is that one of the races is a race of just dudes. And so like one day, like in season, well, I'm not going to spoil it. That's all. It's just a race of just dudes. So there's that.
All right.
So
I think we're good.
But I guess our break's over.
Yeah, I mean we'll come up with something. I like that idea. We'll try to watch something and just talk about it.
It doesn't have to be anime. It could be anything, honestly.
Yeah, it could. Why not? I'm down.
I'm down too. And then we can have right after show notes. We can be like, this was what we're watching. This is what we think of that episode.
Yeah. Yep. I'm down.
All right.
Alrighty, Broken. Before we went to break, you said we're going to do some news. No, we are not doing news because our topic is way too lengthy. Like, I was thinking about putting some news items in there, but I was like, man, we'll just ramble on as we always do, and we'll just roll the topic back.
For the news, I got you guys. I'm gonna say it, and then we're gonna go straight into the topic.
Okay.
Miranda Taylor lied to us, and Street Fighter 6 got broken, and then unbroken. We're good. Hey, the news is done. Let's go.
Which, by the way, we technically reported on last week, so it's not like we're completely behind the 8 ball. But yeah, anyway, there's really nothing else happening of note. So I was like, I'm not going to do news. We'll just do our topic and then a couple of little nuggets at the end for the wrap up. So our topic, we were talking about, I previewed this last week. It's a cooperative tier list featuring game genres. So I'm not a huge fan of tier lists, but I figured this would be fun because you and I are working on it together. So it's not like me being like, hey, this is the best. Now you all comment on it. Also, I have my history with making a tier list, and it did not end well, buddy. Let me tell you that. So it's not exactly a traditional tier list, if you will. So here's what I want to do. We have in front of us 31 game genres. Some of them are like 2D platformer, first-person shooter, blah, blah, blah. You and I both put our individual rankings of where we prefer this genre to be on our list. So we are going to combine both of those lists into one and just talk a little bit about it. So anything that comes to your head, if you want to talk about some of your favorite games within that genre, why you put that genre there, and then we have to figure out, I was like, okay, let's say you have something at 15, I have it at 3. We need a compromise here. Where do we put this? Do we put it at 8? Do we put it at, 7? Like, as long as we can compromise. Yeah.
Okay. So
the first one's not going to be hard because the first one, at least for both of our rank ones and the genre list, is 2D fighting. And so for the listeners, for people who are listening to the podcast and are wondering what these genres encompass, I put just like Street Fighter 2. Think of 1991 Street Fighter 2. That's a 2D fighting game. Mm-hmm. Now, to no surprise, as we're showing with our, FGC roots, it's both our number one genre as far as our preference. So
what a weird coincidence. It's almost like as if we used to be an FGC podcast.
I know. It's almost as if the word, or rather the acronym FGC, used to be in the podcast title. Go figure. That's strange. Weird. So yeah, 2D fighting game. I have to say, obviously I would put it at 1 because of the fact that like I spend a lot of my gaming time playing 2D fighting games. Like if you look at my Steam list, and that's relatively recent because I haven't really hopped on Steam since I started in 2017. So all my gaming time, for the most part, has been a lot of 2D fighting games. And I kind of include anime fighting games in that because those are also 2D. So that was a no-brainer. I mean, it's just, I spend the most time playing 2D fighting games in like a calendar year out of any other genre. So yeah, it's 1 for me.
Same.
Maybe I'm a lion. Oh, whoops. You know what I just realized? So here's a little wall break. Not wall break. That's a different fighting. Yeah. I have my... That's so funny. I have my signals for like my soundboard on the number pad. So I try to put on the list number 1, and it played Broken's intro. Hilarious. So you're a lion twice on this podcast.
Dun dun.
How about that? I'll have to use not the number pad, the other numbers. Anyway, 2D fighting games at the number 1 spot. This is where I think we'll start disagreeing on stuff because this is a big one, right? So at number 2, you have 3D platformer. And I put an example here. An example would be A Hat in Time from 2017, but there's a bunch of others.
Still.
Yes. Well, also it was I don't know, actually it wasn't that close to winning our review discussion game, but it was definitely on the list. I believe I vetoed that one. I think I vetoed it.
Veto that one.
Yeah. But it's still a good game. I just vetoed it because I don't play those games often, and the reason for that is because I guess we'll say it now. So where I have 3D platformer is at 18. You have it at 2. Now, my number 2 is, I mean, to no surprise, walking sims, because I love walking sims. I just spent playing The Unfinished Swan, even though I didn't like that game. I had to beat it just because I like the genre. Yeah. But a walking simulator or a narrative-driven game would be something like Dear Esther, or Everybody's Gone to Rapture, Gone Home. Those are the type of games that I really enjoy, that you don't have to do much. You just have to kind of walk, maybe pick up some clues. Sometimes there's a narration. Sometimes you read out loud by picking up whatever, the items. Sometimes it's atmospheric with absolutely nothing going on, and you're just figuring out what's going on through the world, through the environment. That's a walking sim. I think they're fairly recent. It's like a fairly recent, in the form that it is now, a walking sim is a pretty recent genre. Like I don't think it started until maybe the early 2010s. Yeah, like I'm thinking like Stanley Parable kind of made that genre more so famous than it was prior. So
I could have swore what made it famous was Firelight. And
you mean Firewatch? Firewatch came afterwards.
Or the game before Firewatch. What was that one?
There's who made it?
Yeah,
there's a lot of games
who made Firewatch. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know any other games that were made by the people who made Firewatch. And Firewatch is also, a walking sim, but that one's a little different. That one's okay. But anyway, I have a number 2 walking sims. You have 3D platformer. So we need to come to...
You know what? I'm gonna do you a solid.
No. You're going to keep your list where it's at.
Yes. No, what I'm saying for the combined number, I'm going to do you a solid. If we can add Telltale games to walking simulators, I will bump the number lower.
No, those are point and click though.
You're right. Never mind. We can't.
Those are not walking sims. So
I was thinking, like, if you think about it, they kind of walking sims because all you do is just walk and you find clues. But you're right.
Yeah.
They're point and clicks.
Yeah. So here's the thing: you have your walking sims at 28, extremely low. So think about this: like 2, I have them at 2. You have it at 28. As far as 3D platformer, you have it at 2. I have it at 18. So I think where we land here, I'll compromise. I will say I'm okay putting 3D platformer in the top 10. I'll put it at 10.
Okay.
Okay
with that.
So it kind of takes the middle ground of both of ours. Number 3. Don't have to discuss this one very often, very long, because we agreed on this one as well. Number 3 is 3D fighting. Obviously, think of games like Virtua Fighter, Tekken 7, which came out in 2017,
Dead or Alive,
and a bunch of other. Dead or Alive, Soul Calibur. I don't have to say much about this. Honestly, I will say I'm not so much a 3D fighting game fan because I don't play a lot of them. I played, honestly, just a little bit of Dead or Alive, but mostly Tekken. But Tekken is enough for me as a franchise to just carry that genre. Tekken is. I spent a lot of time playing games, and a lot of times it was Tekken. So, just based on that franchise alone, I have to say, it's my number 3.
That's a fair statement. I think Tekken is its own kind of game. Like, I don't think a lot of. I know that Virtua Fighter and Tekken basically are like this, but
yeah.
Like Tekken 7 is kind of a different kind of game than Virtua Fighter.
Yep. Yeah. More of a modern take. Offensive, not as defensive as Virtua Fighter.
Mm-hmm. Dead or Alive is so defensive that it's kind of stupid.
I'm kind of surprised you put them at number 3 because I don't know you to play too many 3D fighting games.
I enjoy 3D fighting games. The thing is that I don't play them as often as 2D fighting games. Like, mostly I would play 3D fighting games with friends. But, like, every now and then I'll listen to the Tekken 7 soundtrack and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of itching for some Tekken 7.
Yeah. All right. Well, that one was easy.
G-Core Helipad kind of go hard.
Really? That one? I mean, there's a bunch of others.
There's a bunch of other good ones, yes.
I gotta say, I think Tekken 7 probably has one of the weaker soundtracks in Tekken.
I don't know. I'd say.
I mean, if 3 is the GOAT, weak. Yeah, okay.
Because 3 and 4 kind of started the whole electric. 1 and 2 was kind of like generic music, and then 3 and 4 was like, let's go electrical. You know
how we were talking about Melty Blood either last week or a couple weeks ago, and I was saying how most of the soundtrack in the old Melty is really good, but there are a couple of tracks that are like, that is whack. That's whack. I feel that about Tekken 7. Like, there are a couple of tracks where I'm like, this is not good. NG.
Okay, fair enough.
But number 3 on our list, the cooperative tier list, is 3D fighting games. So now we move on to number 4. For you, your 4th is first-person shooter. So think GoldenEye, 007 from 1997. Obviously, there's Call of Duty and Battlefield, and what's that other one with where you Destiny? What's the other one I keep thinking about where you're piloting mechs and Titanfall, yeah.
Apex Legends.
Apex. Well, that one's a different genre that involves, and trust me, we'll deal with a lot of those.
Yes.
So you have first-person shooter at number 4, which is pretty high, but not surprising from knowing what you play. I have psych horror, which is kind of a subgenre to horror games. We have 2 here on the list: survival horror and psych horror. I put, for the example on psych horror, I put like Doki Doki Literature Club, which again is also a mix of genres because Doki Doki is technically a visual novel.
And visual novel and horror. I've been thinking about how horror needs to evolve and change. And I watched a video about this where it was like, modern horror sucks because it's all like merchandise now,
Mm.
But then, like, what catches people off guard is the cute horror. So, like, Amori, you know,
Yep.
Doki Doki Literature Club, Spooky's House of Haunted, whatever. I forget what the new name of it is because of the copyright. But those games are kind of cool because it's like they're cute, they catch you off guard, and then all of a sudden the horror kicks in. You're like, what? What? I thought I was playing a cute game here.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a difference between survival and psych. I think psych, to me, the reason why it's so high on the list is because, man, if you can scare me with me knowing that this game is going to be scary and I'm still scared, like, that's an achievement. Because, like, that's like telling me you're going to laugh with this joke. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not, because you told me I'm going to laugh. So now I don't want to laugh. But then you tell me the joke and it's so funny, I'm cracking up. Like, that's a skill, right? Like, how... And so with psych horror, I know these games are going to be terrifying or going to have elements that are going to be really scary to me. And I played it and I'm like, holy shit, like, that got me. Like, I forgot that this game does that. So I think it's really cool. I want to give a shout out to, there's a mobile game that I don't know if it's still out on iOS anymore. I played a long time ago. It was called Device 6. Device 6. And it has some of those elements that if you play that game with headphones on, it's a little creepy. Like, it's a text-based mobile game, and every now and again you'll hear like whispers only on your right headphone, and you're like have to scroll to the right to be like, oh, what was that? And all you're doing is reading words, but it had some of those like spooky elements where I was like, that was a very unique experience. And I think that's kind of where I started getting more so appreciation for psych horror. But where you have psych horror is also pretty high. You have it at 7. So you have it in your top 10. But where we disagree is the first-person shooter part. So you have it at 4. I have it at 14. So
how about this? We keep psych horror at 5. We put
5? Okay.
We put psych horror at 5.
I agree there. I think 5 would be a good spot for it. That's a compromise.
Good
All
compromise?
Right.
Okay, so then you got 1, 3, 5, and 10 down. Pat.
So, well, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I mean, what happened to 2? Oh, no. You're right. We compromised on the 2. Yep. I am dumb.
So...
we won't have to compromise on this next one. This seems to be... Yeah, this seems to be a bit of a... We didn't plan this, by the way. But it seems to be a theme. Your number 6 and my number 6 match up the same way as they did with 2 and 3. Or rather, with 1 and 3. Beat 'em ups. So, think Streets of Rage from 1991. Obviously, the game Broken and I are playing for the review discussion. River City Girls.
Yep.
And many others. Double Dragon.
Like games where you beat things up with fists and hankers, like fisticuffs, seems to be like highly rated for both of us.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. So I remember playing, not Double Dragon, but a little bit of Streets of Rage, and there was another one in the arcade. Actually, I don't remember what it was called, but I remember playing that a lot as a kid, and I think that's where I ended up getting my ass whooped by this guy who was like, no, I don't remember.
It wasn't Golden
Man,
Axe?
maybe, I don't know. I remember I kept losing to a boss who was like fat and maybe bald, but I was a kid, so I don't remember. But he kept botting me because he was cheap, but also I was like 5, so I didn't know how to beat him. So I remember spending a lot of time in the arcade playing that game, and eventually I just enjoyed those games where you're just kind of side-scrolling, beating fools up. One of my favorites is, I don't think a lot of people really talk about this game, but it's Little Fighter 2 is like one of my favorites, favorite beat-em-ups. Yeah, it's like an open source, not open source, it was like a free downloadable game that you could play. It was a beat-em-up game, super niche, but man, I put so many hours in Little Fighter 2. And the combinations that you could do with like certain characters was cool. Yeah, shout outs to Little Fighter 2. But yeah,
I'm trying to remember this one game It was very prominent during the N64 days. It's also a beat 'em up. It's the one where like you're a wizard or you're a warlock or something like that. Or you're a Valkyrie or something like that, and you like
I don't know.
3 other people like go through dungeons and stuff. I'm trying to remember. It starts with like an M, I think.
Man, somebody in the comments or one of the listeners right now is being like, "It's this game."
It's this game. Also, you know what? I love beat 'em ups because Vanillaware games are mostly beat 'em ups, and they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys? Shout outs to Vanillaware. Vanillaware makes some extremely beautiful. When we go on break, I'm going to show you guys something.
Wait, isn't that Dragon's Crown?
Dragon's Crown and yes, Odin Sphere.
Yeah. And Dragon's Crown that one's technically a beat 'em up, right?
Yep, it's technically a beat 'em up. So they're good.
Yeah.
They're super good. I love the art style of Vanillaware games. It's such a unique art style.
Beat 'em ups are really fun because honestly, you don't have to put a lot of focus into playing them. Like even games like we're playing that have some story, like River City Girls or like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, you can just kind of mess around and just play them, right? Like there's not a lot of thinking involved, and there's something nice about that where you're just kind of leisuring around, just beating the shit out of people in the street. Like it's just fun. So
I just love the fact
number
that
6.
Everyone in all those games are just super violent and just walk up to you, beat you up. You're like,
yeah, what's up? Everybody's super aggro. Like come on, man.
Everyone's super aggro right now.
Man, I'm glad they are though. It's yeah, beat 'em ups are sick. I really like them. I wish I had more time to play some more.
You know what?
Okay.
We should probably start finding games that we're close to together and start eliminating them. Because I could say right now, a game that we would both put at very low, like very, very low.
Well, okay. Your method to your madness. This is how we got in trouble with the list making last week. Is because your ADHD makes you jump around. So I say let's go in order, and we'll just come back to those games. Okay, oh man, Broken, you're something else. So 6 is settled. 6 is beat 'em ups. Now we're back to 7, and guess what? We're back to Psych Horror, where you put number 7, and I put third-person shooter. Go figure. So third-person shooter, think of Gears of War from 2006, although that's like a third-person cover-based shooter. Still, it's a third-person shooter. And Psych Horror, we already talked about. That would be like Doki Doki Literature Club, or obviously Omori, which is a recent game that came out. So, since we already have Psych Horror at number 5, and third-person shooter is my number 7, and it's your number 5, I say we just put third-person shooter at number 7.
I mean, I have a 4.
4?
We don't have a 4.
We don't have a 4.
We don't have a cooperative 4.
So you want to put third-person shooter at 4?
Yes.
That's technically higher than both of our individual rankings, though. How would that work?
You're right.
Because I have it at 7, you have it at 5. So really it should be at 6, but since we agreed on 6 with beat 'em up, I'm thinking
8?
You want to put it at 8?
Yeah.
Third-person shooter at 8? What are some of your favorite third-person shooters? Just wondering.
I mean, I love Gears of War. That's great. Uncharted is technically a third-person shooter, but it's also an action-adventure game, so I kind of put it at third-person shooter.
Yeah, but a lot of third-person shooting in that game, that's for sure.
There's that. Another one of my favorite third-person shooters, it's going to sound really weird, is Rogue Company. Because it's it's basically third-person... what's that game called from Ubisoft?
Game from Ubisoft. That could be anything. Are there assassins in it? Do they jump into piles of hay?
No, they shoot people.
They shoot people.
Ghost Recon. It's basically
It's Tom Clancy.
Yeah, it's basically Ghost Recon 6. You know, the competitive shooting game that everybody loves to hate.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically that, but in third person.
Okay. Yeah. I know the Tom Clancy series, the Ghost Recon is a lot of elements of stealth in that game as well. Mm-hmm. I'll say a shout out to my third person shooter. One of my favorite ones is Spec Ops: The Line.
Ooh,
also has
Spec Ops: The Line's good. You know what?
Yeah.
This is gonna sound really like old school, but what was that one series called from SOCOM?
Yeah, SOCOM.
That's another one of my favorite third-person shooters is SOCOM.
Yeah. Spec Ops: The Line, I think, is an underrated game. A lot of really cool... First of all, I think the shooting in it is really good. It's pretty tight. But the story also is really good. Again, elements of very good narrative-driven gameplay where, like, the reason you're doing what you're doing isn't just to pew-pew. It's like there's a reason deep within. So, but the shooting elements alone in Spec Ops: The Line are sick. Like, they're really cool. And obviously you got grenades and you got some other like secondary elements in that game. So yeah, third person shooters, I am more inclined to play third person shooters. I find, like, recently I just bought Control, and because I saw that it was third person and not first person, I was like, okay, I'll get that. And yeah, they're tight. So number 8. All right, we're trekking along here. So I believe now we have to do our true number 8. So you have at number 8, if I can scroll down here and find it.
Survival horror.
You have survival horror number 8. And I can't find my 8. Where's my 8, Broken?
Can't do it. Open world.
Can't do it. Open world, okay. All right. So, survival horror. Talk to me a little bit why you put survival horror so high.
I am a horror fanatic. Okay? I'm just
gonna
say it. I like horror games, okay? Horror games are pretty cool. I love Soma. I love Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
Mm-hmm.
I love Resident Evil. They're cheesy, but they're good.
Yeah.
You know,
all survival, by the way.
I love them. They're great games. Alien Isolation's another one. Actually, I need to replay it from the beginning because I literally forgot everything about Alien Isolation.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't. I've been meaning to play Alien Isolation on stream one day. Just I'm also dreading it because I have a love-hate relationship with horror games where it's like I love them, but I dread playing them because like I have this feeling where it's like I hate being scared, but I love the feeling of like the thrill of the fear, and I also love sharing my fear with other people. So it's like that's why like sometimes I dread to play certain horror games like Dark Dungeon. Like, it's not just the stress that makes me dread it. It's also like the fact that like every step is scary.
Yeah. So I'll say something about survival horror. So I have it at 17 personally, which is it's the difference between psych and survival for me is, I mean, it's 13 spot difference, right? But survival horror is cool. I don't mind them. The issue that I have with survival horror is that I feel like it's
played out.
Well, no, not so much that. I don't like the time element to it. Like, I'm just on a timer all the time. Like, you literally have to survive, and, you know, that's a big part of the genre. It's very stressful. Like, you talking about Alien Isolation, that thing is literally trying to hunt you down. So it's looking for you. Now, I put the example here for, like, a survival horror game that the reason why I don't really enjoy them, like Slender, the 8 pages, right, from, like, how Slender Man became a thing. It's literally just on a timer. Like, the more you progress, the more he's chasing you. And now you're just trying to beat the clock until he finds you, until they catch you. And then you start again. So that element of being stressed out, I don't enjoy that part. Like, I don't like running for my life. The reason why I like psych horror so much is because sometimes I forget I'm playing a horror game, and then it catches you, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about this. It got me. And I appreciate those moments. But when I'm constantly at a level of just being terrified all the time, I'm like, this is kind of taking the fun out of it because now I'm just stressed out.
I will say this. There's a lot of games, a lot of horror games are good when there's elements of just calm before the storm. Like, I think Resident Evil is a good example of this, where it's like you're not constantly hunted by Mr. X or the Mr. X character, and the zombies are not in every room. So like there are moments where like you're just walking around the mansion and you're like, okay, this is fine. And you're just like, okay, I'm just collecting puzzle pieces. I'm just gathering resources. It's not like in your face there's a zombie in your face all the time, or Mr. X is not at you all the time. So I think what makes a good horror game versus what makes a bad horror game is those moments where it's like, we got you at 10, we're going to bring you to 5, you know? Like, you're still anxious because you know you're in a horror game. So you can't never go lower than 5, right? But we're going to put you at 5 where you're feeling uneasy at the very least, you know? Like, it's not adrenaline-packed. You know, you just do some things, and then all of a sudden it ramps itself up to 10 again. I think those are the best horror games because when you're at 5 and then it shoots you to 10, it's more effective than if you're always at 10. Because then that 10 starts going to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6 to 5, and then you're like, it's not scary anymore. It's now just annoying.
Yeah. You brought up Resident Evil. I actually really enjoyed the last two, like 7 and 8. Especially, I like 7 more than 8.
7's more scary. 8's more like actiony.
Yeah, so there are some scenes in 7 that I was like, this was sick. Like, I'm sure, obviously, if you played 7, there's a scene in the basement that like is very much on the staircase. That one, I was like, that was pretty dope, and I wasn't expecting that from like a Resident Evil game because of what we've gotten previously with the way that they've implemented horror. Like, to me, it hasn't been too scary. But with 7, I was like, it's really cool. Like you just said, the ebbs and flows of the way they almost treat it like psych horror, not so much survival horror. So that game, I think, finds like a really good middle ground. 8, like you said, has a lot of action elements, but it does have a few moments where you're like, oh shit, like I didn't expect this. So that was neat.
I will say one of the things I liked about 7 is that like I found this out by accident. So if you... Do you know the first moment where the father is like chasing you down with the axe?
Yeah, spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah, it's in the beginning of the game. It's not like it's any like.
I know, but what I said was in the beginning of the game too. But I didn't say what. Like.
Anyways, in the beginning of the game, when he's chasing you down, most people will not have this happen. But if you accidentally corner him in the living room, he'll chop your arm off, right? And then he'll be like, "Ethan, it's okay, buddy. I'm not going to hurt you." And he throws your arm at you, gives you a medicine. He's like, here, crawl to the medicine. There you go. There you go. You feel better now? And then, like, he's like, all right, now that we're good to go and we're good buddies, he picks up the axe and then the fight starts again. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Every time I hear people play the game or see people, they never experience that moment where it's like,
right.
Like
they always run.
Yeah, they always run. That's such a cool little thing that like I found it by accident. Like most people will never notice that like, oh, the dad's not super evil, you know.
Well, he's pretty
kind
evil.
Of a dickhead, but like
yeah. There's some moments too. So spoilers in Resident Evil 7. There are really cool moments where you're not expecting it, where grandma just shows up, like and she's in a wheelchair, but like she just randomly just pops up and like she just looks at you kind of, but not really. And she's in places where like, what the, like, how'd you wheel yourself over here? Like it's pretty funny. Like there's some comedy to it, but also when you wrap around a corner, like, oh, okay, grandma. And I always thought that something was going to happen with grandma, but it never ended up coming to fruition. But still, I like the element that I was like, is grandma going to come after me eventually? Like what's going on here? But, 7, I think, is a really good game. I really enjoyed 7.
I like 7. So,
but anyway, survival horror. So you have it at 8. I have it at 17.
You want to say
now, we already have an 8, and that's third-person shooters. Now, 9, I would say, man, in the top 10, that would mean we would have psych horror and survival horror in the top 10. How about 11? Let's put 11 right outside.
Yeah, let's put it 11.
Okay, 11.
We should probably go back to first-person shooter because that's my 4 and that's your 14. We need to assign that one a number.
Yes. Okay. Let's do first-person shooter then. So 4 and 14. Like I said, GoldenEye, Call of Duty.
You know what?
A bunch of other ones.
I'm gonna compromise and say, let's say 12. It's a good, solid, like closer to your number,
no,
but still good comp.
I would say probably you. So you're at 4, I'm at 14, so there's a 10-spot difference. So if I came down and you came a little bit up, I think inside the top 10 is probably better because you're really high on it, and I'm just kind of outside, just hanging out the top 10. I'm okay going with 9 for first-person shooter.
Okay.
I think that's fair. That's a fair, and I like some first-person shooters. They're not traditional, but I really enjoy the BioShock series, and there are shooting elements in that one that's first-person. Obviously, there's also psych horror elements in that one, and a little bit of walking sim. That's why I like that game. But like,
it's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but the first-person shooting element in it is fun. Like, I did very much enjoy those games, and there's some other ones that are. I mean, I've played my fair share of Call of Duty before, so first-person is cool. I enjoy it. So let's just do a little quick recap so we can find our place here. So our number 1 2D fighting game, no surprise there. We don't have a number 2 yet, do we?
No, we do not.
Okay, but we did compromise, or rather, we did solidify our number 3, which is 3D fighting games.
That was a hard compromise. I swear that took us 12 hours to do that compromise.
Yeah. You know how it be. But we also have 3D platformer at number 10, first-person shooter at number 9, third-person shooter at number 8, and beat 'em ups. We didn't have to compromise on anything because that's number 6. So survival horror at number 11. So we need a number 2. Yeah, psych horror at 5.
Sure. Let's say
so we need to find our number 2 here, and we never did compromise on that one because of the fact that 3D platformer is number 2 for you. But walking sims are number 2 for me. So
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
So we should talk about my number 5, your number 10. Or no, your number 5, my number 10, which is action adventure.
I was looking at that too. It's funny you bring that up.
So I like action adventure games, but it's not like the game I go to all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that maybe we should compromise that as a 2 for both of us. Because if you think about it, they're very low on our list. We still need a 2.
True. In the top 10, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You think? You think it might be good 2?
So yeah, so again we're running into that issue where the compromise would be higher than our individual list, but since we compromise on the other ones are high, we're kind of out of
low.
Yeah, so it turned out that we were so far apart with our number 2s that we have to compromise lower on the list to bump that up to number 2, which I think you eyeing action adventure, my number 5, your number 10, which would be like Uncharted, would be like the Lara Croft series. I mean, think of any game almost as it's action adventure. Like every game has action adventure elements in it.
Devil May Cry, stuff like that.
Devil May Cry, MDK2, the greatest of all time. That one's really fun. I'm okay with that. I think I really enjoy those games. Those are like a shoe-in for like just go in and have fun type of game. So number 2.
One of my favorites is actually Transformers Devastation. You can't get that game anymore, but like I have it on my PS4. Actually, I have it right here. Look
reaching for the PS4. That. Oh man. Wait, it's just hanging out, just loose.
No, it's not just
on the floor.
No, it's not on the floor, okay?
You reached down to the ground.
I didn't. I went to my nightstand.
Oh, okay. Did you have it face down or face up when you brought it?
Down.
Okay. At least you're not a complete degen.
It's also a Blu-ray disc, so it can have some scratches and still survive. That's the beauty of Blu-ray discs. They're not CDs and they're not DVDs.
You still want to treat them with care and love.
You do. So let's go with let's keep going. So we've gotten 1 through.
We need a number 4. and then I think we're caught up. So our number 2 is action adventure, which I'm okay on that compromise. Now we need a number 4. So I'm looking for just ones that are still in my top 10. So again, I mean, I have Walking Sim, but we're so far away from that. We have Open World. I have a number 8. You have a number 21. And then for your top 10, it looks like
I got it. Classic Adventure. That's very close to like
Classic Adventure, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's my number 14. It's your number 9.
Yep. And then for people who are wondering, listening, Classic Adventure would be Grim Fandango from 1998. I mean, a lot of them are really point-and-click games. Sometimes isometric. Sometimes they're side-scrolling. I really enjoy this genre. One of my favorite games that I don't talk about a lot because I don't really recommend it because I don't know. It's kind of like a weird game, but I also find it good is Broken Age. I really enjoyed Broken Age. It's point-and-click.
I have yet to finish that game, and I'm on like the second chapter? No, the third chapter. I'm on the third chapter of that game, and I've yet to finish it. Like it just
it's tough for me to describe that game. I think it's good, but I don't think that's a game for everybody. Like that's a game that's gonna miss a lot of people. But I think the genre as a whole also misses a lot of people. There's a really great point-and-click adventure game. I always forget the title of it because it has a bit of an obscure title, but it's a Pink Panther game, and it's really good. Like I used to play it as a kid all the time. It was really fun. But these games they're just fun. Like usually there's inoffensive, good old fun, like classic video games.
They're inoffensive unless you're playing certain games. Like what is that game series? Sam and Max.
Disco Elysium.
Sam and Max.
Oh yeah. yeah.
Sam and Max is pretty offensive, but in a good way.
Yeah. The other one that just came out, what is it called? Like Gold Rush or something like that. Gold something came out. It almost looks like Disco Elysium. I forget what it's called, but that one's a little offensive, just slightly. But anyway, classic adventure. I think that's a great genre. And my number 9, your number 14. I'm okay putting it number 4 as just as a compromise to get a little closer. So there we go.
Speaking of getting closer to like getting to our spot, what number are we? Because I think we
need a 7.
I know what our 7 can be.
What's our 7, Broken? Metroidvanias. Wow, we're actually really close on that one. So
I think that would be a very good 7. You know?
What I mean? My number 11, your number 15 on this list. Metroidvania, a game that came really close, I believe, in the top 3 of winning on the review discussion game, which is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, one of your 5 games that you picked from 2019. That one almost won our review discussion, and it's probably still in the rotation for the future review discussions. But I enjoy these games. They're pretty fun. It's been a while since I played one, but I've watched my friends stream them. Curse of the Moon was fun, so that's pretty neat. But that one's more so like Castlevania than Metroidvania, I find. Yeah. They're good genres though. I think they've become way more popular as of late, especially for indie developers to make these kind of games. Think Hollow Knight, think some of these
The Curious Case of Benedict Fodder, I think that's what it's called.
Yep. You brought that game up a few weeks back as well. And yeah, very popular genre, a mix of 2 genres, obviously Metroid and Castlevania. And that will be on number 7. So that was my 11 on the list, and you're 15. I'm surprised you had it at 15. That seems a little low for you.
There's a lot of games that I love, but like the genre is very hard to recommend people to play. Like if you were to recommend people.
Yeah.
And so
I think point and click is like that though.
Yeah, point and click is that. It's like I love point and click games, but like if I were to recommend point and click games to people, that would be like the last not the last game series or a genre I'd do, but it's very low on the list of like, hey, I think if you want to play video games, you should play point and clicks. They kind of don't elicit excitement until you recognize the medium as a medium.
Yeah, I think it's easier playing certain games when you have a cachet with the property or the license. I think Telltale really made almost like a business doing that, where they was like, hey, look at this Batman. Hey, look at this Game of Thrones. Hey, look at this Borderlands. Like, if you don't care about those properties, you're probably not playing those games. But if you like Walking Dead and you're like, hey, I like the show, maybe I should play this. Turned out it was pretty good. Hey, Wolf Among Us 2 is coming out.
That I'm excited for. I'm excited for Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah. Man, I love that game. The first one, it was so good.
You know what? When that game comes out, that should be our spoiler game.
We'll have to vote for it. The people will vote. They're going to make us play something so whack. So whack, broken. All right, let's do a recap here because I'm trying to figure out which number. I think we have our top 10 solidified. Mm-hmm. So at number 1, we have 2D fighting. At number 2, we have action adventure. Number 3, we have 3D fighting. At number 4, we have... Where's the number 4, Brogan? I lost it.
Classic Adventures.
Classic Adventure. At number 5, we have...
Psych Horror.
Psych Horror. Number 6, beat 'em ups. Number 7, we have Metroidvania, which we just did. Number 8, third-person shooter. Number 9, first-person shooter, back-to-back. And number 10, 3D platformer. Mm-hmm. And I also believe we have 11, which is that survival horror. So yes. We're good. 1 through 11.
Look at us. We're doing pretty good, honestly.
We're doing pretty good.
All right, so let's go to 12. Let's find 12.
I think 12 kind of makes sense, just being 2D platformer right there. My number 10, your number 23?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good 12.
I'm so surprised, Brogan. You put number 23 for a 2D platformer, and you have so much love for 3D platformers.
So here's the thing. 2D platformers are very specific, and they don't have as much coyote time as 3D platformers. And I feel they're more restricted because of the 2D plane that they're in.
What about Mario? Think about Princess Peach. She needs to be saved.
She could be
Bowser is coming.
She could be saved in Mario 64 in Mario Odyssey, okay? Like, here's my thing. In 2D platforming games, they're fun. Like Super Meat Boy, Celeste, those are great games. But those games are very precision heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for those of you who don't know what Coyote Time is, Coyote Time was penned by video game directors on the idea that when you are on a platform, when your player character is off the platform, right? You have a basic window of time where you can stay off the platform before you fall off the platform. Now, Coyote Time was popularized and called Coyote Time based off of Wile E. Coyote from the Looney Tunes. Because what happened is that, you know, he chases Roadrunner. Roadrunner goes off the cliff. Then Wile E. Coyote gets off the cliff. But then he's, like, still...
running on air, yeah.
Running on air. And it's until he looks down that he, like, falls.
Yep.
So that's why it's called Coyote Time. It's because you're off the platform, but you're still technically standing, but you have a brief time. And in 2D platformers, it's much more precise. So, like, you don't have a lot of coyote time. But in, like, 3D platformers, the camera's kind of too far away, so you can't really make accurate, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Accurate decisions.
Like judgments on
where you are. So they give you a lot more coyote time, so it's not as precise of a jump that you have to do. Like, yep. I think doing precise jumps are cool and fun because it's like, oh, I did the challenge of, like, you know, pixel perfect jumps, but pixel perfect jumps are only fun every now and then, not as like that's the only thing you have to do is pixel perfect jumps.
Yeah, you like some leeway in your platforming is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. No, I understand And so I'll say this as far as 2D platformer are concerned, I'm not like a true 2D platformer fan. Like the reason why I have it at 10 is because I like the element of the gameplay in a lot of other games that I play. So
like
one of my
pure essence of 2D platforming, but you like introduce in other games.
Yeah, and it's in a bunch of games. Really, it's an element that you see in most games because a lot of 2D games have jumping. Like you just have to jump, and it's cool. One of my favorite games that encompasses 2D platforming is Braid, but Braid's is a kind of like a puzzle game, but it encompasses a lot of jumping and then like reverse jumping in which you're rewinding time and you have to jump. So I think the element that's used in puzzle games that use 2D platforming to an extent, that's the reason why I put it up so high. But as far as Mario is concerned, or Sonic, or any of those other ones, I'm not in love with those games. I appreciate them for what they are, but I think when the element is used in a different genre, even for precision, even for precision, if it's used appropriately in a mixture of other games, I think that you get like a really cool blend and you get something really neat. So I put it at 10, you put it at 23. I think number 12 is a good compromise.
That's a good compromise. I appreciate that. So then let's go to 13. I think there's only one 13 that we can choose. And I know this is going to sound weird, but I think it's Battle Royales.
Battle Royales?
Because it's my 11 and it's your 21. So that's kind of close to that section. You know?
Obviously, I think you've played way more Battle Royales than I have.
Yeah, I play a lot of Apex Legends and...
yeah.
I will say this. I played Fortnite. It's not a game that I
am having a very bad day!
Yes.
You know, the Fortnite. Shout out to JJ. He loves Fortnite without building. He was like, ever since they gave me a game mode without building.
Ever since they removed building, that game is good. Before that, before zero build mode, I couldn't touch that game with a 12-foot pole. Ever since they introduced zero build mode, I'm like, you know what, this game's good. It's decent. It has a chance.
Yeah. It's got like a million characters in it.
I think zero build mode is what saved Fortnite for me. Because, like, if it wasn't for zero build mode, I'd fucking lose it.
Build is for the Zoomers, and then no build is for the boomers. Yeah. It's crazy. You take one element away from that game. You don't change anything else. They're still, they're still doing their dances, and you got Ariana Grande shooting Goku in the face, and but you take away the little scaffolding. And you're like, sweet, I love this game.
Exactly.
Amazing. As far as Battle Royale experience for me, I played Blackout with my friends when that came out, Call of Duty, and that was pretty fun. But even before that, we spent a lot of time playing PUBG, which is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, that came out in 2017.
Speaking of pop stars, that one had Blackpink in it.
PUBG had Blackpink?
Yeah.
When was this?
On the mobile.
Oh, I didn't play the mobile version. I played the Steam version. It was super fun. We had I think it was close to a year where we played a lot of PUBG, and it was super fun. Like, I really enjoyed playing it in a cooperative way. I would never just do solo and just play it, but I thought that the genre, when you combine friends with it, is super fun. If you're alone playing Battle Royale, I'm like, I'm not as interested. That's why I think I had it at 21. But
fair enough.
Yeah, you have it at 11.
You know what game that I'm actually kind of excited to try out is Rumble Versus.
Oh yeah. That came from Iron Galaxy, right?
Yeah, it's Iron Galaxy's take on Battle Royales, where it's like you play as a wrestler. I think that everyone that plays it loves the game, and I think that it might be a good because every Battle Royale right now is currently just you shoot the dude in the face, and then whoever shoots better wins. But
that's like a melee Battle Royale, right?
Yeah, it's a melee Battle Royale. I think that's kind of cool. There's another one that I've been playing. It's called Deathverse.
Okay, yeah.
So Jam.
I think Jam's been talking about that. Yeah, right.
Jam
In Discord.
told me to go and try it out, and I was like,
They have 1,000,000 trailers.
Deathverse is that game that's like from the same person that made like that's a Suda 51 game, right? The one that's like based off of.
Is it?
Yeah, it is, because it's made by it's basically Let It Die. The game, if it was. So it's basically Let It Die if Let It Die was a battle royale.
Okay. All right.
It even has the same quirky BS from Let It Die, like you eating mushrooms to gain effects and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's fun. It's addictive. I'll give it that. It's just that Deathverse, I don't know if they're like if I can tell people to play it, but I have fun playing it.
Yeah. All right, we need a number 14 because we just decided that Battle Royale would be 13. Man, I didn't know Battle Royale was going to be that high. But 14. I think there are two candidates here for 14.
Go for it.
And I think they're both RPGs. The Western RPG, which would be something like The Witcher 3 from 2015. I have it at 22. You have it at 12. And then JRPG, the Japanese role-playing game, a la Final Fantasy VII from 1997. I have it at 12. You have it at 13. Yeah, we had a discussion about Final Fantasy VII that...
Look, I don't care if the Cap cops come after me. I don't care if the Twitter cops come after me. I don't care what. I'm going to say it. Final Fantasy VII is very overrated. There are way better JRPGs out there than Final Fantasy VII, okay? I think the reason why people love Final Fantasy VII was because it came out on the PS1, and it was the first JRPG everyone played. It's literally nostalgia bait. That's the reason why people love Final Fantasy VII. It was the first Final Fantasy on PS1. It's the first JRPG that everyone played.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the first JRPG, well, technically, actual video game where they said, "Hey, we're killing one of your teammates," and so there's like suspense to the game.
Right. It was definitely innovative for the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. So I've never played 7. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I read the synopsis. I think it's probably fine. There's a distinction between a game, not just a game, anything, being overrated and being overmentioned or just overly saturated, like in a space where like we just see it a lot. Like we see Cloud a lot. We see him everywhere. We see Tifa. We see Sephiroth. So Final Fantasy VII has like been around for a long time, and I think personally, don't go after me, or maybe do. I don't care. Bring it. I think Final Fantasy as a franchise, I think is like maybe overrated. I don't think it's as good as people think it is. But then again, that's subjective. Regardless, I think as I just brought that as an example because it's one of the most famous ones. I'd bring up Chrono Trigger. I think that's a better game. But that's, again, subjective. As a genre, I'm surprised that I have it higher than you, though. I have it at 12, you have it at 13.
So the reason why is I love RPG games. As I've been saying, I've been playing Yakuza 7, which is basically a JRPG. So the reason why I have Western RPGs higher than JRPGs is because JRPGs fall into a camp of campiness and like tropes all the time. Western RPGs are more like they're kind of good at just doing anything.
Yeah. A lot of them are open world. They're not linear.
Yeah, that's true. But like a lot of Western RPGs also don't fall into this stupid trap that I hate, that I've said that I hate forever, and I will forever hate this trope that video games, a lot, especially JRPGs, do a lot, which is the silent protagonist.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
I fucking hate the silent protagonist. All
yeah.
Right? I think the idea of the silent protagonist, some people love the silent protagonist because they're like, I don't like it when my protagonist talks every 5 minutes. I don't either. But you know why I hate silent protagonists? It's because A, no one is actually silent in a actual conversation, okay? Like, I don't care if you're like the shyest person in the world. If someone's asking you like 1,000 questions, at one point you're gonna break and start answering them, right? And two,
I don't think they're actually silent though.
And two, one of the things I hate a lot about silent protagonists is that like they'll have like a, for example, this is one of the things I hate from God Eater and what's that game called? Code Vein, is that like like everyone around the protagonist is talking to the protagonist and like, hey man, we need you to do this, and this. You think you can do it? And instead of like anything remotely like appropriate as a response, your character like dead stares into the like distance and just like,
yeah, just nods.
Look, I get it. A lot of people say the reason why silent protagonist is great is because you can put your voice into the character, and so you can self-insert yourself into the game.
Right.
If you want to self-insert into an RPG, what you can do, like a lot of RPGs, especially Western RPGs, is you could just choose the voice that is played. Have you noticed that a lot of Western RPGs will give you like a bunch of voice samples, and you can just be like, this one sounds pretty good to me.
It's almost MMO-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
agree with you.
I think that's the better option. Like, yes, it's not your voice, but you chose that voice. You're inserting yourself into the character. So.
Mm-hmm. I want to give my case for both Western RPG and Japanese RPG, and then we'll try to find which one gets the number 14. But for JRPG, I have two gripes with them. One, like you said, some of the tropes are, I think, played out. Like, I try to play Dragon Quest. I mean, Pringle's going to listen to this probably, and he'll be like, what? But, like, Dragon Quest 11, I tried to play a demo for that, and I was like, this kind of sucks. Like, it's just boring. Like, I'm just out there fighting as a Dragon Ball Z looking character, and then I have a blonde girl in the background cheering, and it's like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't care. Like, this is not for me. I think I've been in this situation multiple times. I've played Tales games. Like, they all have the archetypes that, like, you expect them to have. Like, oh, the princess. Oh, the geeky girl. Oh, the comedy relief. Oh, the stoic bad guy, whatever. I'm kind of done with that. Like, and I find the JRPGs just continue with those tropes. Sometimes they veer away, and sometimes when they do, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. It's different. But I don't really enjoy that anymore. I still think that the gameplay itself is pretty cool. Like, I like, especially when you have turn-based, and it's what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's on a timer.
Active.
Yeah, active time battle. I think that's really fun. As far as your silent protagonist, though, I don't mind it as much. The whole self-inserting, sometimes it's okay as long as I get the correct options. Like Persona 3 and Persona 4, you had a few options that you could pick, and some of them would alter what would happen, which I don't mind. Like, hey, the Chie would come up to me. She's like, hey, do you want to go to the dungeon? I'll be like, nah, I'm going to go plant flowers with Nanako or whatever. Like, it's cool. You get a little bit of choice and you get to figure some stuff out, obviously to a limit. Where I don't like it is where your choices don't matter. And this happens in a few of the JRPGs that I have. The most blatant one was I Am Setsuna. I Am Setsuna had a silent protagonist, and every time...
We finally hit it. I remember you said, oh, I love active time battles. I was like, hey, what about I Am Setsuna?
Dude, I Am Setsuna is so... It's criminal what they do. So everything about I Am Setsuna I think is cool. I like the gameplay. I like the story was whatever. The plot is, again, very JRPG predictive. Like, I understood. I knew what was going to happen before. I didn't even have to play the game to know what was going to happen. But a silent protagonist, and no matter what line of dialogue you pick as a response to whatever they said, it does not mean anything. They will just do what... So here's the thing. With the silent protagonist and choice-based outcomes, I Am Setsuna gave you the option to pick the right choice. it didn't give you a choice. It just gave you the option to pick what they wanted, which was so frustrating. Like every time I wanted to go left, they were like, no, we already decided we're going right. We're just giving you the option to say yes to that option. I was like, man, this is so whack. So,
I hated that. It because, like, in the beginning of the game, not a real spoiler, but technically a spoiler. In the beginning of the game, you get captured by the village, right? And, like, they say, hey, you can either help us kill the monsters invading the village, or we can just let you be. And I was like, I'm just curious. What if I just say, I just want to fuck off? Like, the main protagonist is kind of a dick. So I was like, what if I just continue to be a dick? I mean, it's based off of what he is. I don't need to be the kind guy.
They won't let you. They'll be like, I don't know, you look suspicious. Come with us. And like, God damn it. Like, it's...
Then why did you give me the option to choose,
right.
Hey, let me be a dick? If you're like,
yeah.
Oh.
There's a bunch of... Yeah. I'm Setsuna is... Man, it's so frustrating the way it does it. Now, that's... And the character of Setsuna, I mean, come on, that's so tropey. But like, it doesn't mean every JRPG does it, but I've played many that have. And that I think that's just has veered me away from the genre as a whole.
Here's my thing is that I think trope-based characters are fine, but like tropes as a whole kind of kill me.
Yeah.
Like I understand that you like character archetypes, they're a trope, but like character archetypes are great because it kind of just makes a character and then you can run with that character. And then like character archetypes don't lock you in place, but they give you a ground where you can kind of like expand upon. Like, the ditzy girl doesn't have to be the ditzy girl all the time, you know? Like, there could be moments where, like, the ditzy girl is smart at one topic, and then all of a sudden you find that topic, and she's like, she expands upon her knowledge, and then you're like, oh, she's not just a bumbling blonde that just all she is just boob and eye candy.
I don't know that that's happened in too many JRPGs I've played, though. Like, that's I wish it was like that. I mean, a lot of times they just stick to the tropes, and it just feels a little recycled. But for the people, here's the thing that's good about JRPGs, in my opinion, is like, outside of the gameplay, which I do enjoy, is that for the people who are expecting that style of game, it's pretty consistent. They'll get that in most JRPGs, which at least you know what you're signing up for.
True.
But anyway, I think we ramble enough about JRPGs and Western RPG. I personally vote to give number 14 on our list to Western RPG.
There we go. I think that's a good idea. And then maybe we can say JRPGs is 15?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay doing 15 for JRPG. So we have 14 Western RPG, 15 JRPG. Now we need number 16.
Which I think could only be roguelikes. Because it's kind of close.
Yeah, so roguelikes, you brought this up earlier, like The Binding of Isaac, I believe, right? Oh, no, you brought up Super Meat Boy, sorry.
Yeah, Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac are so close.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of the Blob, and then I was thinking of Isaac crying, so they reminded me of each other. But roguelikes, yeah, so, I mean, they're cool. I have them in 19, you have them in 16. The last roguelike I played that was... Well, I mean, I don't know if you really want to call... No, it's not really a roguelike.
What was it?
The game I just played, Death's Door. Not exactly a roguelike. Some elements. But I played Rogue Legacy, and I think I played it up to, like...
The final boss?
No, I'm going to say I lost, like 80 characters in that game. Like, I died like at least 80 times. Where like I've made so many runs and I can always see my dead body. You know what's cool about that game is that it would always have, you'd see the grave of like, here lies, Charles II or whatever. Yeah. it's like, oh, I remember that playthrough. It's kind of sick.
Honestly, I love about Rogue Legacy is that like Rogue Legacy always gives you like good benefits as well as bad benefits per run. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, one character can be like Vertigo until you're like, oh god, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then it's like some runs are just like, I died in 3 hits because it's like I need this character dead. I need to go into another run.
I believe that game is also procedurally generated, right? And the maps are. So generated. And then who you get after you die is random. It's just the luck of the draw. So it's a cool game. I do enjoy roguelikes. I don't play a lot of them, but that one I remember spending a lot of time.
Really good. I like Rogue Legacy.
I never got to 2.
It came out a while ago. I loved it.
It did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. I'll put roguelikes at 16.
There we go. I like it.
All right.
I like it.
So 17. We'll need a compromise here.
So.
And I think, wow, is it going to be MMO?
It might have
Are we doing
MMO.
it?
It might have to be MMO.
MMO. So for people who don't know what MMO stands for.
Massively multiplayer online game.
Yes. And most MMOs,
or MMO
not all of them. Yeah, but they're usually role-playing games. Sometimes they're pew-pews, but sometimes you play as a tank. Sometimes...
You play as a healer.
Yeah. Oh, I meant like an actual tank. like a military tank.
You're talking about World Tanks.
Yeah. But yeah, so think of World of Warcraft, think of Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars, Black Desert, and of course, Maple Story, the old version, not the newer. Yeah.
Ew, Nexon.
Ugh. Yeah. I mean, you obviously still have an active subscription to Final Fantasy XIV.
100%. I can't stop playing that game.
Yeah.
It's got a hold of me.
It does. It's got very tight grip on your wallet. And I don't play any active MMORPGs anymore. Obviously, I played MapleStory for a really long time. Every now and again, I'll play Maple Royals, which is like a private server for the boomers. For the boomies in there, jumping around, 2D platforming.
Hey, there you go.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because FF14 has 3D platforming, but it's slightly strict in certain areas because they're called jump puzzles. So, like, there's no coyote time in these jump puzzle ones, and oh my god. So many people love these jump puzzles in FF14. I fucking hate them. And there's like a special, you know how MMOs always have like special holiday events?
Right, yep. Seasonal.
Yeah, seasonal events. There's one just for jump puzzles where like it's the spring seasonal one where it's like, oh hey, here's everyone in their beach outfits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do the beach outfit like seasonal event, it's called the Moon Fair Festival. There's this big ass like jump puzzle thing that they make, and they make you like
they call them jump puzzles, huh? Because back in MapleStory they call them jump quests.
They're called jump puzzles in this game. Basically, what it is technically a puzzle because you have to think about like where do I jump, how far do I go, this and that. Like, I hate it because it's like you'll have a rhythm going and you're like, okay, I got it, and then like all of a sudden you hit one wrong step and then you go all the way to the bottom and you're like, fuck.
Yep. Those are how the jump quests in MapleStory used to be like that, like 2D platforming, very precision based, and they would take away all your skills. So if you had any skills that would affect your speed or your jump height, nope, you are as good as a beginner, and they were really annoying. But MMOs, yeah. So MMOs is 17, and yeah, it's a good spot for them. I mean, you enjoy Final Fantasy 14. Obviously, I really enjoyed a few of them. I mean, I had a little stint there. I had a little weekend romance with Black Desert Online. So,
I mean, to be fair, our podcast is named after an MMO. So, I mean,
that's true.
We should technically have it pretty high up on the list.
Yeah, it's in the top 20.
There you go.
I think we need to revisit now for number 18 because of the discrepancy in where we have this. I think Walking Sim should be number 18 because I have it at 2, you have it at 28. So I think 18 is a good middle ground for a walking simulator. Okay,
mean, it's fine. I'll give
it the narrative. All right, and we already discussed Walking Sim, so we don't have to do it again. Number 19.
You know what? I think we should put number 19 as party games.
Party games. So let me see what we got here for party games.
I have it at 17.
If I can find it.
You have it at 24. Unless I will compromise on that and say instead we should do visual novels.
Visual novels. 13 and 22. Yeah, I could see that. So for 19, visual novel. And visual novel would be something like Danganronpa. Would be something like, I mean, we already talked about what our psych horror, but it would be Doki Doki Literature Club, obviously. For the weebs out there, Tsukihime, right?
Yeah, Tsukihime. There's also Fate. There's also my personal favorite, which is the Phoenix Wright series.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright. Pringle loves those.
You need to play Phoenix Wright.
I do, yeah. But first, V3, and then who knows what else. I like visual novels, though. I think they're
good.
Time and place, though.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think you can binge them, though. Even a series as good as Danganronpa, like I couldn't binge that one. Like I have to take breaks in between visual novels. A lot of reading. So hopefully you like to read.
I think one of the reasons why I don't like visual novels as much as I thought I would is because of the simple fact that like visual novels draw you in, and they only get exciting at the third act of that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's at that point where it's like it's late. I need to go to bed, but I need to know what happens.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and so it's like
they're fun though.
They're great and they're fun and they always have good music. But it's like, if you think about it, it's like it's late. Do I continue and figure out what happens, or do I just say screwed sleep and like actually figure out what happens to the thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you kind of have to dedicate yourself when you go into a visual novel because again, like I said, they only get exciting at the third act. Like most
not always. I mean, I think you're kind of painting them a little bit with a wide brush there, but depends on which one you play. Some of them, yeah, they are really slow, but I think yeah, but I think some of the more modern ones that have come out in recent years have done a better job of pacing themselves in a way to like hook you in early, then keep you in.
Because like
there's one that's called Root Letter that I played that is very much the way you're describing it, where it's like nothing happens until Act 3, and you're like, oh man.
Because the thing is like, and when I say Act 3, I mean like in each chapter there's acts.
Yeah.
In each chapter, and it only until like the third act of that chapter does it get exciting, and then it's like once the chapter ends, you're like, okay, that's a good point to go to sleep. But it's like like Act 1 and Act 2, like in Danganronpa and in Phoenix Wright, Acts 1 and 2 are based on like Act 1 is things are happening, Act 2 is it's time to gather evidence, right? And then Act 3 is when it's like, boom, we have all the evidence down. It's time to like slam the table down and like be like you're the one, right? And that's when all the cool action happens.
Right.
But like Act 1 is like snooze fest, and then Act 2 is like, things happened. Okay, cool, let's start. And then Act 3 is like, this is the culmination of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely patience is a virtue with some of the visual novels, but hopefully you like reading.
If you don't, then you are in the wrong game.
Yeah, you better play something else. All right, Broken. We probably should speed this up because we're only at number 20 and we have 11 more spots to go.
Yep.
So let's do number 20. I'm voting for racing games, which would be like Forza Motorsport. Now you had a little comment there. You were saying there's a difference between simulation racing and arcade racing. Mm-hmm. I know if this was arcade racing, this would be higher on your list. But this is technically just racing. So I would just say it's probably sim. Mm-hmm. You had it at 26. I had it at 16.
I don't like sim racing games because they're just too realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, like, those games, I feel like I need to actually be in a car in order to enjoy them. Like, being outside of a car, I don't feel like I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's very arcade. Not arcade as in the genre, but arcade and then the place. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably better. Little shout out to an arcade racing game, and no cars, but it was a Harry Potter broom racing game that I found online back in the day. It was actually really fun. You would do laps. Damn, I need some boomers to like know my references. Anyway, racing at number 20.
Can't do it.
Wipeout is my favorite.
Wipeout? Yeah.
If I tell you about Wipeout, people are going to be like, oh, you mean that game that's trying to beat F-Zero? And I'm like, no. I mean, yeah, they're both futuristic racing games with, like, the ability to destroy your opponents. But, like, Wipeout feels different. And no, it's not because Wipeout's on PlayStation and F-Zero's on Nintendo. But, like, I like Wipeout because it's not character-based. It's more like the focus on the cars. Not the characters who drive the cars, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. All right, we need 21. To me, although it's a little bit of a stretch, from our list, it looks like Rhythm will be 21. Because I have it at 25, but you have it at 9.
I love rhythm games. I love rhythm games.
But you're not an Osu fan.
I'm not an Osu fan, but I love rhythm games. There's a difference.
Remember we talked about rhythm games? Because I believe we talked about Trombone Champ.
Uh-huh.
And I was telling you that I actually really did enjoy on Vita that Hatsune Miku game. Mm-hmm. That one was really fun. So I like them. I don't seek them out, but I like them. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're pretty neat.
I think it's a fine pick to put it there.
That's good. 21?
Yep, 21. All right, let's go to 22. You know what? Let's just... I think Party is fine as 22.
Party? All right. We'll do Party at 22. When was the last party game you played?
The last party game I played was... I'm trying to remember the name.
Smash Brothers?
No, it's not Smash Brothers. I got him!
Ayo!
That's actually...
I've actually played Mario Party when I went on vacation. I went to go see some friends, and they have a Switch, so we played Mario Party. It was fun. It's good times, casual, just like Smash Bros. No,
Pummel Party. That's the last.
Pummel Party. Yeah. Yep. I remember.
I love Pummel Party, honestly. Pummel Party is cool because it's like a mixture of all the games. John.
Yep.
There you go.
All right.
Then let's.
23. So for 23, I think there are a couple of candidates here.
Go for it. What would you say?
Obviously, Gotcha, which would be like something like Fate Grand Order. I have it at 23. You have it at 24.
How about this? I say 23 is open world.
Open world?
Mm-hmm.
So I have it at 8. You have it at 21. I think that's a good.
So low, because it feels bloated. Like, I love Yakuza right now. Like, Yakuza's a great game, but like, one of the things I kind of don't like is that every time I go into a chapter, 30 things just open up, and I'm like, I enjoy the fact that like the game tells you, hey, you should just not do the story. But sometimes I'm like, the story hooked me in, and I just gotta go know what happens next.
Yeah, I think I'm a little skewed by open world from Rockstar because two of my favorite ones are GTA 4. I spent so much time playing GTA 4, both offline and online back in the day, and then Red Dead Redemption. Man, I spent so much time playing that game. Like, I did everything, like anything you could think of. I was wrestling cattle. I was not wrestling cattle. What's the wrestling? What's the thing? What's the thing where you rope the cattle?
That's not wrestling at all. That's called wrangling.
Wrangling, yeah, not wrestling. Podcast correction. And I played poker. I went to Mexico. Man, I love that game. That game is sick. So Rockstar has really skewed my vision for open world games. I think I like having freedom in games. Open world that's why I had it really high at 8. But I think 23 is good for open world.
Like, if you want to know a good example of like games that I think are like what I said that are like just bloated, look up Assassin's Creed and look up just look up any Ubisoft open world game, because it's
Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs. Like, look up what's another
Cyberpunk 2077.
I guess, yeah, that one. Another game that I think is also like fitting of this title is the Horizon series, Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. Because it's like, you know where you need to go, but it's like those games make you kind of just not do the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels bloated.
Yeah, sometimes there's indecision when you have too many options, right? So if you have too many decisions to make, you'll end up just getting overwhelmed and being like, man, I'm just not gonna deal with it at all. Like, go do something else. So I feel that. I personally enjoy freedom, and I don't have an issue of doing one thing because I know the other things are going to be there once I'm done. So I like open world. They're fun. All right, so that was 23. We need 24. I think Gacha is probably 24 because I have it at 23. I have it at 24. I don't play Fate Grand Order. But the only Gacha game I've ever played and actually spent a good amount of time with was Bleach Brave Souls. I really enjoyed the gameplay in Bleach Brave Souls. I try to get all my Unohanas on one team. And then that was my end game, actually. After I got all the coolest versions of Unohana on my team, I was like, all right, I think I'm good. Like, I'm done. Like, I beat the game. So I think I played that game on and off for about a year. And that's why I have it at 23. I've tried other ones. I tried Genshin Impact before. I didn't really like it. Most recently, I tried that One Punch Man game. It was okay, but there's so many things going on in it, and I was like, I don't want to learn any of this stuff. It's just overwhelming, so I deleted that. But
you know, speaking of Bleach, I saw a funny question, and so many people, like, the reason I found this question was because someone was like, what the hell? Why is this even? And what it was, would you rather train with Goku or spend 24 hours with, what's her name? Yorichi?
Yorichi, yeah.
Yorichi.
The cat lady?
Yeah, the cat lady. Spent 24 hours with Yorichi.
Wait, why is that a meme?
Because it's like everyone loves the idea of training with Goku, but like spending 24 hours with Yorichi, there's a lot of things you could do with Yorichi.
She'll probably make you train too. Do they not watch Bleach?
Yeah, they don't, because they're like degenerates and they're like, I'd love to get inside Yorichi's pants.
I don't think she'll make you run like stupid errands or some shit. I don't think you're signing up to what you're thinking you're signing up for if you're going to be spending time with Yorichi. She's cool though.
She is cool. Not gonna lie.
She's neat. All right, we need a 25, Broken. And honestly, we've gotten to the point where any of these on this list could be 25 because we're pretty close in where we place them. I'm thinking 25 is probably maybe not that one. Not stealth because it's bigger than it. I'm thinking puzzle probably, right?
Yeah, we could do puzzle.
Puzzle or RTS?
I'd say puzzle first and then RTS second. How about that?
Okay. I'm good with that compromise. So puzzles, okay, so have you ever I'm too stupid for puzzle games. The last one that I played and beaten, but I did use a guide, I do have to admit, was The Witness, which is made by the same person who made Braid actually.
Yeah.
And The Witness is fucked up because it's really hard. Like, I'm so stupid and I can't do puzzle games without like trying to like, wreck my brain. But it was a cool puzzle game. I like similar to 2D platforming. I like puzzles when it's the element of
another game.
Yeah, of the gameplay. But like there are some games like Portal, for example, that I really enjoyed that are predominantly puzzle.
I will admit that's the same thing for me. Is like I like puzzle games when they're in a different genre than just puzzle games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely they'll make you think though.
I feel stupid because like 9 times out of 10 when I play a puzzle game, I kind of want to brute force it. I just want to figure out the puzzle myself until it's like I've been in this puzzle for 30 minutes, and that's when it's too long, and I'm just like, all right, I've literally thrown everything at the wall. What is the answer?
Yeah, game facts guide.
What is it?
Please.
And then I get angry whenever it's like, oh, did you solve this puzzle before this puzzle? Because then you won't get the true ending. And I'm like, thanks! I could have known about that.
Yeah.
I
but puzzle games, We'll be at 25. So you said real-time strategy, a la Age of Empires.
I love real-time strategy. I will say this: XCOM games are kind of fun.
Yeah, they are.
Because it's like
I played the mobile one.
Yeah, I like them because it's like you can name your units. So it's like fun to name your units off your friends or whoever watches your stream or anything like that. And then it's like everyone gets invested into that character because you name them, and then it's like, oh, you died like 3 minutes into the run.
Right.
Rip.
That's another one where I think you kind of have to be smarter than me to play, because like they're not difficult, but they're challenging, and you definitely have to know what you're doing. A lot of trial by fire with the RTS. I remember playing a little bit of Age of Empires when I was younger. I haven't really ventured into the genre much recently, but they're definitely pretty cool.
I think it's the
Civ,
way I said
right?
it. Yeah, I think the way I said it, where it's like you name your units and like you get invested with. I think that's the best way to play those games, because then you have friends with you and everyone's interacting with the game rather than just you.
I agree.
Because when it's just you, all the brain power and all the thinking is based off of what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you have friends involved, everyone kind of gets to like choose and get to like voice what they want to do, and then it's better because it's now like when you move somebody, that person you named is going to tell you like, I think you should do this, and so now it's like, okay, well now I have two voices in my head rather than one, so now I don't feel like I'm stupid if I do this stupid thing, you know?
Two voices in your head. All right, 27. I think so. Here's actually a little mini compromise here. I think 27 should be sports, because I actually have sports much higher than you. Mm-hmm. I mean, no surprise there. I have sports games at 15. You have them at 31. The last on the list, the bottom tier, is sports games. I think I
don't like sports games.
It's okay. It's fine. I mean, we'll put them at 27. A quick shout out to sports games. FIFA 2005, GOAT. So fun. That game is so fun. I put so many hours in 2005 when I was younger. I want to say Madden 2013 with Calvin Johnson on the cover was fun, but even better, Madden 08 with Vince Young on the cover. That one was sick. I played that one a lot. As far as basketball, NBA 2K12 was a lot of fun.
I hear a lot of
NBA Live 08. You played NBA 2K?
I haven't played 2K, but I've heard a lot of people love 2K.
So I haven't played since 2012, but I played the shit out of NBA Live 08, which was like, man, that was really fun. And then NBA 2K12, I thought was a really good game. And then I played some tennis games, and I never played a wrestling game or an MMA game. Mm-hmm. It's been a while, but you know me. If you ever are down for some ball 2D soccer, I'll play that shit on Steam. Challenge me. That's my that's my game.
You know what? I would say it's 27 solely because there's a sport game that I love, and it's NBA Jam.
Oh, yeah, of course, NBA Jam. Again, that's like the arcade version of sports as opposed to the sim. Mm-hmm. All right, we got 3 here to go. We need a 28, a 29, oh, rather, sorry, 4. I can't do math. 28, 29, 30, 31.
I know what our 31 is going to be. So we might as
What's our 31?
Our 31.
Let's get 31 out of the way.
Sandbox.
All right. I have it at 28. You have it at 30.
That's the 30.
And, yeah, it's a game like Minecraft, and yeah,
look, guys. I hate to say,
I'm not that creative.
We're probably not that creative, and that's probably why we hate these games. Because it's like every time I play Minecraft or a survival game like that, I always end up being the scavenger in my friends group because I can't build. I can't do any of these like farming stuff. I'm just like, sure, I'll get you the materials, but like, that's it. And I don't find that like super fun. Like I like playing with other people, but when it's by myself, no.
Yeah.
I can only spend like 3 minutes in it, and then I get bored and tired of it.
I played a little bit of this early access game called Craftopia. I started with my friends, and then that was fun. We built our little village. We had a farm. You know what was really fun is just because I'm dumb. You can build conveyors in that game, and I build a conveyor that goes straight from the farm. So I chopped up one of the fences so cows would just hop on the conveyor, and then I put a big old pot, like a roasting pot, that would just launch them into the pot, and I would get free meat. And I was like, sweet, I just watched these cows just ride to their doom in the pot. It was actually really fun.
That's what
that was my little project.
These kind of games is that like when you do goofy shit, but like 9 times out of 10, you're not doing anything goofy. You're just trying to do things to survive or to like.
Right.
And that's when it gets boring. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't like crafting. Crafting in RPGs is fun, but like crafting to craft is just sucks.
Yeah. I do think it's really cool how some people in Minecraft make like ginormous cities. Like, you ever seen the guy who made the city of Rapture from BioShock in Minecraft? It's super cool. Like, it's dope.
I saw somebody make a phone camera in Minecraft that works. Like it uses your camera to like, and you can order stuff. Like you can order. Some dude ordered Domino's with it. So like,
that's sick. Yeah, it's a cool game for sure. It's definitely the biggest one in the genre.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Man, that community's toxic, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Why is every community toxic?
I guess it's just we're not creative, and that's why we hate it.
Yeah, maybe.
And also, they are toxic.
They do be toxic. All right, so that was our 31.
So now
is Sandbox.
I will say this. Keeping in line of going from the bottom to the top, I think 30 should go to simulation games.
Sim games. So I have Sim at the bottom tier, 31. You have them at 27. So Sim games would be like Farming Simulator. Just recently, I saw a trailer for a game called Gas Station Simulator, where you patch up.
Simulator of anything nowadays.
There's Goat Simulator. There's
PC Building Simulator.
Tractor Simulator.
Why is there 3 games to build a PC? You know what's fun is building your own PC. Why do I need to spend $60 to pretend I'm making a PC?
There's a simulator game for being an off-road truck driver, like a truck driving simulator. Like, what? Just go get a CDL. Like, what are you doing?
You know, there's
like what?
There's one called, I think it's called The Road, where like literally all it is you drive, like I forget how long, like 12 or 14 hours or some godforsaken long hours down a road, and the only way you stay awake and active is that the game casually makes your truck go to the left. You have to steer to the right.
Are you talking about the desert bus?
I think it's called the desert bus, but like you basically have to steer your truck to the right every now and then.
Yep.
And like the objective of the game is to get all the way to the end of the road, and then
just come back.
The way back. And I'm like, who finds enjoyment in that?
I don't know, man. It's brutal, but somebody does, because obviously it's a genre and it sells. And then you got the traditional simulation games, like The Sims. You know, you simulate a family.
I'm too poor to own one of these.
Oh man, I want to make a house.
I would love to have a house and have a wife and kids. I'm just too poor for that.
Yeah. All right, Sim goes at 30, so we need 29 and 28, and obviously we only have 2 more candidates for those. So I would assume 28 would have to meet in the middle, and that would be Stealth, because I have Stealth at 26 and you have Stealth at 29, and Stealth would be a game like Thief.
Honestly, I'd say that game is 29 and 28 is, and 28 is card games.
So what did we decide on card games? Card games, I had
20.
Oh, you're right.
30.
Yeah, I had it at 30. You had it at 20. So that would be a better compromise. So let's put card games at 28.
And then 29 is stealth games. I'm sorry, I don't know, guys. It might be because I'm just a guerrilla gorilla brain broken, but I cannot. Like, I like certain stealth games, but like stealth games as a whole, especially when you put stealth genres in other games, fucking infuriates me. I just want to go, and then when it's like, hey, we took away all your weapons in this like super action-packed game, and you have to go in stealth. What? Now, I'll say this. In Uncharted, I like stealth in that game because it's a reward. Mm-hmm. Like, the reward of doing stealth is that you can go through the whole entire area without shooting anybody and without having to go into, like, a super hard shootout, right? But, like, in stuff where it's, like, Metal Gear Solid or other games, it's like, there is no reward.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically that. And then in other games, I forget what kind of game genre it is, but it's like, you're a god, and then all of a sudden, hey, perfect example is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, where they make you sneak, because you're a god in Metal Gear Rising, right? Like, you're just you're slicing everything up, and then all of a sudden it's like mandatory sneak mode, and you're like, why can't I just like beat the ever living shit out of everybody? Like, I get it, it's a Metal Gear game, but like, I am a literal god. I can literally slice my way through this entire facility. Why am I sneaking?
Like, I think if it's an element of another game, and if it's used appropriately, like you said, Uncharted, it could be cool. But there are certain sequences. I remember when I was playing Hitman 3, I was like, God, like, Hitman this is just annoying to do.
Hitman 3 kind of forces you to be stealthy.
Yeah.
But then, like, Hitman 3 also allows you to, like, just goof off and, like, figure it out your own way. I mean, what's that one game from Bethesda? Man, I always forget the name of it, but I played a little bit of it, and actually I like the stealth in that one. It's a first-person stealth game. You have a little bit of superpowers. Medieval, sort of. Not medieval, I don't know. It starts with a D.
Ah, man, I always forget the name of the game. But I played a little bit of it, and I remember enjoying it, even though it's not really my cup of tea as far as genres are concerned. But it reminded me a little bit of BioShock. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I was like, I'll try this.
But I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Back when Bethesda was good, remember that? Yeah. 2011.
Dishonored. I knew what it was.
Dishonored. Yeah, Dishonored.
It's stuck in my head. It starts with a D. Mm-hmm. Dishonored.
Stealth like that, I wouldn't mind. That's you can do action and stealth, and I like that. That was cool.
I don't like it when you forced to stealth, unless it's like a cool aspect.
All right.
Like I agree. Like, there's another. A Hat in Time has a stealth moment where you go into the Queen's manor, and that the reason why you're stealthing around is because Queen Vanessa is literally chasing you down, and so it's also a psych horror. Haha, got him.
There you go.
Oh, bringing it back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a psych horror because, again, like, I think A Hat in Time is a good example of a psych horror game because.
Is it?
it actually is. Because if you think about it, every other world except for Subcon Forest is like nice and cheery, and then Subcon Forest is just like every like horror trope imaginable. Like, the main protagonist of Subcon Horror is literally just a douche canoe, and he's like, I want to steal your soul and all that. And then later you end up being his friend, but like, he's still an asshole. And then you find out that there's Queen Vanessa and all of her garbage. And then basically, so to kind of give you an example,
you're just trying to show A Hat in Time. You're like, listen, we have to play this for the next review discussion. Trust me, we'll probably vote for it again.
Yeah, so in Queen Vanessa's manor, right? You're told by the main protagonist, hey, I kind of forgot something in Queen Vanessa's manor. I need you to go and get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go in, and all of a sudden, right before you go into the manor, there's these statues that literally do the same thing as the angels in Doctor Who.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know what the Angels in Doctor Who are, they're
Broken. I'm sorry, but the way you tell a story is you tell beginning of it, and then you branch off to something else, and then you branch off to explain that branch off. It's like, get to the point.
Anyways, you go inside, and then you start seeing some spooky shit, and then Queen Vanessa is like, ooh, and then like it starts turning red whenever she's near, and she's chasing you down. And so the point of it is like you have to hide because you have no other option because she's gonna instant kill you. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like it, because it's like it's cool and it's like a challenge. But then whenever it comes to other stealth games, I just hate it. Okay, there we go. That's it.
There you go.
I'm done.
Oh my god! All right.
I've been here for like 30 minutes trying to explain.
You would have, but it's okay because we're almost done here. I just want to recap our list, and then we'll probably end it there because we made it through. It took us a while, but we made it through. So here is our game genre combined list in order 1 through 31. At number 1, 2D fighting games. At number 2, and then I apologize because I do have to scroll down this Google Doc. So at number 2, we have action adventure. At number 3, we have 3D fighting games. At number 4, we have, if I can find it,
classic adventure games.
Classic adventure. Yeah. And number 5, we have, you know what I should have done? My dumbass. I should have just put them in
order and then written it down whenever we numbered it.
You know, I've never said I was a pro podcaster, but anyway, number 5 is Where Broken. Psych horror.
Got it.
Number 6 is beat 'em ups. Number 7 is Metroidvania. Oh yeah, I remember thinking that ended up being pretty high. Number 8, we have third person shooter. Number 9, first person shooter. Number 10, 3D platformer. Number 11, survival horror. Number 12, 2D platformer. Number 13, battle royale. Number 14, Western RPG. Number 15, Japanese RPG. Someone's going to be really salty about that. It's like, what? You put Western RPG over JRPG?
I do not care.
Number 16, roguelikes. Number 17, MMOs. Number 18.
Your favorite games.
Man, it's so low. It's so low. Walking simulator / narrative driven games. Number 19. Where is it? Where is 19 broken?
I'm looking for it.
We need eyes. We need more eyes. It's visual novels.
Yeah, there it is.
Number 20. Racing. More so sim racing games.
Yes.
Number 21. Where? Rhythm games. Number 22. Party. Like Smash. Okay. I'm going to make that joke every time. Number 23. Open world. Number 24. Gotcha. Number 25 is... What is number 25 broken? God damn it.
I'm looking for it.
The pressure. 25 is puzzle. Number 26.
Crime strategy. I got you.
RTS. Number 27, sports. Number 28, card. Number 29, stealth. 30 is
simulation games.
And 31
is sandbox games. I like how we had a nice little thing going every now and then where like the top games were at the top of this list and the bottom games were at the bottom. And then every now and then we had to like jump up and down, and I was like, oh, God dang it.
Yeah, we're not the most organized as far as making lists, but hey, we got it done. So if you are listening to this and somehow you made sense of our list, because we certainly haven't, and you disagree, you can let us know. If you agree, you can let us know. If you want to make your own list, send it to us.
Yeah, well,
we have a Discord. Put it in the podcast discussion.
Yeah, we'd love to tell you whether you're right or wrong.
All right. In your own opinion. Let me tell you why you're wrong.
I'm HO. I think that Slender the 8 Pages is a masterpiece of horror games, and I think you're wrong.
Broken, before we get out of here, is there one position on this combined tier list that you're a little salty about? Because I have one. I'll start with mine. Obviously, to no surprise, walking sims. I was like, man, 18? I was like, at least I thought I could get it within like the top 12. But 18, that is so low. My dear walking sims. So just for reference, I had it at 2. On my personal list, you had it at 28. So we compromised on 18 for my narrative-driven / walking simulator genre.
Uh-huh.
So that's my little salt moment. Do you have anything where you're like, man, I wish that was higher?
Rhythm games.
Rhythm. Okay, so Rhythm we have at 21. You had it 9. I had it 25. So yeah, we're roughly around the same spot there.
I thought, because I love rhythm games. Like, it's not the game genre I play all the time, but like every now and then, I don't know. I just like music, so I like to listen to music, and so like rhythm games are kind of my jam.
Mm-hmm.
My hidden like love.
All right. I think that's it. We technically have a Take a Flyer wrap up, but we can do that for next week since we ran a little late with this topic. I'm glad we got it done though. It was fun. And
fun time.
Yeah, we'll probably do one again. Maybe we'll cut down some of the categories just to make it a little more time friendly.
Pringle complain about RPG
placements. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be so great to see in the Discord.
Especially after I talk shit about Dragon Quest. Sorry, Pringle, but it was boring. Like, I didn't like it. I don't know. I can't. I like what I like. And I like Omori, goddammit.
I can't wait for someone to say, you guys don't understand how great silent protagonists are. They're the greatest thing in mediums. Yeah. And I'm like, no.
I don't know anybody that says that.
There's a lot of people that I've actually had this argument where I was like, I think you're wrong when you think that silent protagonists are good. I think you're just wrong.
Yeah. Your opinion is trash. All right, Broken. Let's get out of here. Appreciate everybody for listening. I know this was a lengthy one. Hopefully, we didn't frustrate you too much with our scrolling of our list. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, Pringle the One joins us. And if not, we'll have something else going on for the podcast. And yeah, that's all we have for this show. So, for everybody's listening, appreciate it. Join our Discord. Shout outs to people on Patreon. We'll see y'all next week. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, another Tinder match. But sadly...
Oh, snap!
But sadly...
Don't tell me it's a bot.
Got him!
Bruh.
Got him!
So are they just using Tinder just to advertise their OnlyFans now?
Yep. There's a lot of people that do that. They use dating apps as their as a promotion, and then what they'll do is that a lot of them will either not do anything, and then like if you're curious about the lady, you'll look at their description and be like, oh, I'm on OnlyFans, or they'll match with you, and then it'd be like, oh, hey, I won't say anything, but like once you read what my description is, it's OnlyFans, so congrats. I only liked you because I need you to be on my OnlyFans.
Right, I just want you to give me money for my feet pics or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, that's a heartbreaker. I remember for a while there, Tinder was full of bots, right? But now it's actually just cam girls.
I will say this. I read the description, and I was like, you know what? I'll give you a chance. Solely because she's like, I have an OnlyFans, but I'm not here to advertise for it. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate your honesty. You know? I appreciate the fact that you're like, 95% of this is basically what you like.
Wait, so you knew before matching with her that she had an OnlyFans?
No. Honestly, I'm going to tell you the secret to what I do in dating apps.
Just swipe. Gotcha.
I don't even look at the picture anymore.
But doesn't the algorithm know that you're doing that, and therefore, like, it doesn't take your matches seriously?
No, because I'm too ugly.
Oh. But I think...
So,
I'm pretty sure...
the algorithm, technically, what it does is that based on either how attractive you are, if you're a paying member,
and how many times people swipe on you is how many times they put you on other people's lists. So, for example, everyone has an ELO score on dating apps.
Hmm.
And so, like, if you're very attractive or you're very photogenic or if you cheat on your pictures,
yeah,
and therefore you get like more swipes on you, you get higher on the tier list, and then so you appear more on other people's pictures. I mean, on other people's profiles.
Yeah.
If you're a paying member, you get bumped up, and then if you're what's the third thing I said? Was photogenic,
attractive or paying member?
Paying member, and yeah, I guess it's that. Those two. So if you're very unattractive, or if like a lot of girls don't swipe on you, or if you're a gamer like me, then
what's your profile? Do you say you're a gamer on your profile?
I've said, here's my Twitch.
Oh, okay. So you're advertising your Twitch too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm advertising my Twitch stream, but like, at the very least, I'm telling you that I'm a gamer. I'm not trying to hide it.
Right.
I know that, like, because here's the thing. If you and I go on a date, you're probably going to ask me what my hobbies are, and I'm probably going to just end up telling you, I like gaming. Sorry, if you don't like gaming, we can just end this date right here, right now. So I put that front and center.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's good to be transparent.
Yep.
Tinder is a very, I don't know, pretty shallow way of.
True.
I don't know. It's just
every dating
that
app
sucks.
that I've been on, I put in I'm a gamer because I know that there's 1,000 girls that hate gamers. So I'm just gonna weed myself out of all of those bimbos. Because like I remember there's a post from GC Yoshi who was like, dated a girl. I thought the date went well until the next day she ghosted me. And then I looked on her profile and she clearly added a new thing that says, don't talk about video games to me.
Shit.
GC Yoshi was talking about fighting games. Got him again, folks. It's a curse.
I mean, I don't know. Here's what happens usually. Well, right now dating is weird because of the fact that OnlyFans is giving, and like Instagram and Twitter and all this shit, it's giving people false
senses of like their worth.
Yeah, and especially for women, they can only ride that for so long until eventually they get old.
And then they want to settle down, but like, I'm too old to settle down by myself.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks to say this, but like at that point, like, let's say you have an OnlyFans, but now you're 33. If you're trying to like find somebody, and that's who you've been for the last I don't know how many years, it's like it's gonna be tough for you. Like it's just not gonna be easy because you've literally been selling what you probably should have kept for your partner
to everybody
for the last how many years. So why would that have value once you're older, less attractive, and have just clearly a low amount of just respect? I mean, if you're selling your body online for a $19.99 package or whatever, it's like, damn, that shit's worth $20 for you. Like, all right.
I mean, I'm going to say this. I don't hate sex workers. I think if you need that, if you're hustling, hustle, get that bag, right? But like, I feel like because you've done it, like you get a huge money from the beginning, but then you need to, like, OnlyFans shouldn't be your life quest, you know?
You got a very short period of time in which you can.
A short period of time before, like, at like 40 is when you're done.
Not even, dude. Like,
I'd say like 35 is the max. Like you're pushing it, but like at 40 you're done. Unless you're like, I guess, I don't want to be racist. I guess like if you're Asian or if like you're like a race where like you look very good at an old age, you can push 40. But like once you're past 40,
it's kind of hard to keep it up.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you can't have kids at 40, really. I mean, it's very, very difficult.
But like, it's, I don't know. It's just like, you see what I mean? It's like, I get it. Money's tight, so you do it because you can make a shit ton of money off of it. But then like, yeah, you're sacrificing money for like a bond, and unless you're making OnlyFans where like you do the OnlyFans to make a bond with somebody, or like it's a dual OnlyFans where like, oh hey, I have a boyfriend, this is our OnlyFans, you kind of just screwed the pooch on looking for a mate or a partner, you know?
For anybody that has like a certain amount of like required dignity, I think. I don't know. Like, I know I'm kind of like you. If I see OnlyFans, it's an immediate no. Like, I don't care what you're selling on it. You could be selling feet pics, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Here's the thing for me, I don't care about OnlyFans because guess what? If I really am horny, I just go on Pornhub or Hentai Haven. Oh, look, it's for free. I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah. I think some of the simps though do it for what they think is like I don't know, like an emotional connection, or I don't know.
A lot of the simps do it because they think that spending a lot of money on a woman will give them a chance to get in bed with them. And I'm like, bro, she doesn't know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that the fucking meme where people put on Twitter. It was like, bro, she ain't gonna text you back or some shit. Like, oh no, bro, that's like, bro, she ain't gonna see this. I love that shit on Twitter. People like be like trying to white knight, and then there's another guy like, bro, she ain't seeing this. It's the best.
My favorite is the she ain't sucking your dick because it's like she ain't. There's no reason to.
Oh man, it's good times.
So it's like, I'm poor. There's only so much money I have, and there's only so
Aren't we all poor?
Yeah, we're all poor. There's only so many things I'm going to spend my money on. And, like, you're not even, like, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the OnlyFans girls, not even high quality. They're mid-quality women. So it's like...
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're getting treated online. As like they're high quality.
Yeah. So it's like...
Give them that false verification.
So, like, when it comes to being horny, there's a lot of ways to relieve it. There's Twitter. There's Pornhub. There's Hentai Haven. There's Reddit.
It's a weird time for sure. Like it's strange.
I get it. You can on Reddit and Twitter. You can in Chatterbait. You can lock all your stuff to like your OnlyFans or your Fansly account, so like you have to pay for it. But a lot of people put it out for free. So it's like, why pay for something that someone else is doing for free? You know?
I don't know, man. Can't be me.
Can't be me. I mean, unless I will put money down on a girl if I'm either dating them or if I'm like, you know what? They live in my city. There's a chance I can talk to them. I'll probably end up like just putting in $3 and saying, "Hey, I live over here. You want to go get coffee?" Because at that point, it's like that's an attainable option.
You can think about it as you're supporting a local business.
Exactly, I'm supporting a local business. But if like you're in Florida, fuck no.
Yeah.
There ain't no way I'm gonna put any money in you. Because A, you're in Florida, and the last thing I need to do is go to Florida. And 2, well, I can go to Florida. I have family there, but it's Florida. Yeah. And 2, like, you're too far away from me to even, like, horny simp. So, no.
Oh, man. Yeah, I kind of stopped trying to look, to be honest. Because it's been weird. My last girlfriend, I met her at the hotel I used to work at, but I don't really know how to do Tinder and all that shit. Like, I'm too old.
Also one of the things, I'm going to say this, one of the things I kind of hate about, like, finding girls at work is that, like, I have this thing called I don't fraternize at work.
So like if I work with somebody, they're off limits for me, even if I think they're like a 10 out of 10 or something like that. There's a lot of girls at my job that are like, if I wasn't working right now, I'd throw like I'd shoot.
Why not though? That's a part-time job anyway.
Because here's my thing, and if you want to put this on the podcast, go ahead. But
I stopped recording.
Yeah, I know, but like.
Oh, I guess you're still streaming, aren't you?
Yeah, I am still streaming, so you can just grab it off the stream. I don't fraternize because 2 reasons. 1, I was in the military and fraternization was illegal. And 2,
oh, that's true.
Yeah, and 2, I don't fraternize because I don't want to go to a job after a breakup and see that same breakup girl there. Because guess what happens when you fraternize? You're lovey-dovey, and then all of a sudden you can't talk to anybody else, or like you get too distracted being with each other, and then like your boss hate both of you because like all you do is you just lovey-dovey together and you don't get any work done, and then you break up, and then you're forced to work with that person, and so then all of a sudden it becomes like a hassle because you don't want to work with them, they don't want to work with you, and so now it's a conflict of like scheduling to get both of you off the same clock.
That's did that happen to you before? That's a very I was gonna say that's a very specific example.
Yeah. It happened to me once because like back before the military, I didn't give a shit about fraternization. I was like, oh, she's cute, I'll ask her out. Asked her out. It was a thing. Boss hated it because like I gave all my attention to the girl, she gave all her attention to me, so none of us got our work done. And then we broke up, and then I had to keep going to work. And then I ended up quitting like 3 weeks later because I was like, I can't keep going to this job and seeing her. And then I heard she quit like the same time as I did because she was like,
damn, you should have been like, damn, bitch, you should have told me. I would have just kept my job.
Well. But like, she quit too because the same reason. She couldn't come to work seeing me, and I couldn't come to work seeing her. So it's like conflict of interest. So that's why as soon as I got out of the military, I was like, you know what? That was a smart idea. Fraternization should be illegal. So I was like,
you shouldn't let one bad, it's kind of like if you ever drive and get into
a wreck?
it's not, you're not going to stop driving, right? Like, I don't know. I just think about it like if you see a potential girl, even if it is at work, why not? Because two mature adults should be able to
keep going and keep working.
Well, I'm saying to work and still be in a relationship without it getting in the
way.
Yeah.
I will say this: if I meet a girl at a convention or a tournament or something, or at a local, I'll go out with them because even though like I'm gonna keep going there, if things don't end up well, I can just stay at the convention. It's not like, or I can still go to the tournament or stuff like that. It's not like I'm locked to her, So like even if I see her there, it's like, okay, well, whatever. I'm here for the fun. I'm not here for her anymore, But like work's different because you kind of forced to interact with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that it differs on the examples that and also the type of work you're doing. I guess so. When I was working at the hotel, she was working front desk and I was doing maintenance. So
you guys barely interacted.
Well, I would see her. Because I'd be upstairs, I'd be downstairs. So every time I come downstairs, obviously I'd see her. We talk for a second, but
I guess
or sometimes we had different shifts where like I'd start at like 2 and she's getting leave at 4. So
I guess it's different because like at a restaurant, like a lot of the bartender girls are cute, but like I'm at a restaurant, so like every 5 minutes I have to interact with the bar, so I'm kind of forced to interact with them. So like if I break up, that's gonna be terrible because it's like I still have to talk to you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like, since you knew you were gonna be quitting anyway, like why not?
Why not?
Shoot your shot, and then whenever, if anything did happen, and I was like, oh, it's not working out, I was like, well, just quit anyway. You're gonna be done.
I will say this: I would shoot my shot with one chick, but like she and I kind of are like we're friends. We're not dating. And that's because like I kind of ruined it by saying, hey, I'm a big ass nerd. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And so all we do now is we just talk to each other and giggle, but like
just shoot your shot, mate. You never know. Bro, listen,
she's not the one. Also,
there's a famed hockey player that said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Okay, you remember how I told you there was a girl that's like 4'11"? She's that girl.
Oh, that chick, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe never mind. Don't shoot your shot with her. Not that one.
But yeah.
Unless you really want to.
I mean, she goes to MCC, which is where I'm going in January. So maybe.
Yeah. You're like, what?
Because at the very least,
once I become a runner, I'll only see her when I go to work, and that's when I want to. And so, like, I could just choose to not go to work for like a month and not see her for a month, and then therefore be like, haha, got him.
Got him, coach.
Got him, coach. Also, I know she only works Tuesday and Thursday because she doesn't work Tuesday and Thursday. So like, if I really hate her at that point, I could be like, I'll just work Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah. Oh man.
Whatever. Well,
right,
everybody, man. It was a fun
shout out stream. Yeah, shout out to the stream. We got a little personal talk from Broken at the end there. That was cool.
Yep. You know what?
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here.
We should.
What?
We should on the Max Splicer podcast. We should talk about our failed love life.
Bro, I got a lot.
I got some too.
My last one really scarred me. Not scarred me, but like I haven't really been like in a dating mood.
Ever since
yeah, just also Dirk died, so I was like, man, fuck all these bitches. Like, I was just like, nah, I don't know. I haven't been in the mood.
I have a terrible like story about how I lost my virginity. That one is still worse.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's
talk about virginity start.
Yeah, that's such a terrible story, dude. You're gonna be like, dude, I feel terrible for you.
Oh man, yeah, that's pretty fun. Let's do it.
All right.
Sweet. All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here. It's late.
It is late. I'll see you.
Yeah. GG's.
GG's. Bye.